confusion and delay.
You have caused
Confusion and delay.
I think you will face prejudice.
Daisy is just the ultimate fart. Daisy is just the ultimate fart. Your impatience has caused confusion and delay. This storm has caused confusion and delay. You are causing confusion and delay. You cause confusion and delay.
26 years old and you can't even drive? I can. Are you stupid, eh? Are you a stupid fool? Well, why can't you drive then? You can't even drive. Bit grey today.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome. I'm here. Welcome. It's early on Monday morning, or not that early. Mid-Monday morning. Mid-morning. Morning matters. We're here for another year where we're going to be looking at the Christmas ads, many people's favorite stream of the year at this point. Pharaoh, it's become a tradition. I don't know how many years we've been doing it now. Third,
I think,
fourth?
I think it must be about the fourth now. You know,
Probably the fourth year.
This is an institution. Advertisers fear us. Customers love us. You know.
I mean, I've heard on the grapevine, Pharaoh, that advertisers are now literally hiding their adverts so they escape the eye of Pharaoh. You know, we used to try to escape the eye of Sauron. Now they try to escape our gaze.
The persecuted becomes the persecutor. The hunted becomes the hunter.
So is that true, Pharaoh? They're literally trying to hide ads from us now. Can you believe this?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. It's hard to tell, but I'll tell you that they never used to delist their adverts, and now they do. Although everyone's saying my ad's bad, I'm going to try and sort it out a second. Hold on.
Your mic is bad. Okay. Well, while we're doing that, I'll just remind everyone I won't play the advert because we're going to be watching lots of adverts, so I will not be playing my Vax Glide 2 ad. But I would encourage everybody, you know, getting Last Chance Saloon to pick up your course at the academic agency. Buy it now, 25% off all courses. Promo code VaxGlide2.
Okay, how's this?
Yeah, you sound a bit better, Pharaoh.
Okay, good. Just with the Vax Glide, I feel like, you know, with your Steve Turley posting, in an attempt to kind of reach the normie sphere, I feel like you should do a Vax Glide 2 unboxing video and tutorial on how to use it, but then like add in some based elements to it.
I can exclusively reveal that I now have a Vax Glide 2.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's huge.
It was sent by my mother. Who, like, I said, she was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I was like, "I want this 3-volume folio edition of Norman Davis's history, Europe history."
Yeah.
Well, she couldn't find it. I was okay. Vax Glide 2. She was like, "You're kidding?" I said, "I'm not." And then, well, anyway, it arrived. You should have seen Mrs. A's face. She was just like, she was just, she was so upset. She was rude to the guy who delivered it.
Really? Oh my goodness.
And she was like, in the boot.
You know why? It's because she's been bought out by Big Mop. It's obvious that you know
it wasn't allowed even
in the house.
In the house.
Oh my
but I am now the proud owner of it. It's still in its brown packaging that it came in. So
you need to open it up live on stream and then just talk about Elite Theory as you're hoovering up stuff from the floor.
So yes, do buy my courses. Vax Glide 2 promo code. Pharaoh, anything you would like to promote, sir?
Yes, there's a couple of things that's going on. First thing, I sent on private chat just a little image. I don't know if people remember, but in the summertime, I was part of an exhibition that went on, and we created a whole lot of different artworks. I actually created a little poster. This is my kind of power must coordinate poster. I've actually got 10 of these left that I've done as part of a new series via screen printing. So if people are interested in getting it's pretty big in size, I can get some specs over to them, get in contact with me over Twitter, and I'm trying to sell off the last of those. I've been on a few, it's been difficult to be very busy in my life recently, so I haven't been obviously on Deepest Law that much, but been on a few late night Lander streams, so check out some stuff I've been doing with him. And I think just hopefully got some good ideas for the next year, which are coming up as well. So, and also buy my course, Foundations of Entrepreneurship, as well, using the code VAX20. So.
VaxGlide 2.
VaxGlide 2. I got it wrong.
Yeah, you've got to get it right.
Yeah,
the VaxGlide 2 will work on Pharaoh's course. Hold on a minute. I've lost the bloody... I've now lost, because I have to do that. I've now lost. Oh shit! Am I ever going to find that again? Let me. I know I can do it. I can just do it like this. Oh, that's why. Close the tab. How annoying! Hold on a minute. There. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's what my old man used to say. Now, let me just, before we get going, Pharaoh, and we get into this year's smorgasbord, this year's cheese board of treats. We have, also, by the way, power must coordinate. It's that was one of my slogans, and it's kind of cool to see it made up almost like a kind of it's almost like a Magic the Gathering card or something, like a little,
that hurts quite a lot, AA, but it's I like the idea of taking new slogans and phrases and bringing them into reality through art. So
what I was picturing is, if you can imagine that artwork that you've got there, you could have like a based card game where you could just play with different slogans. You could have like an AA deck, power must coordinate, whether my Ashes of Civilization, whatever my general slogans are. But then you could have like an Aaron McIntyre deck, don't make me tap the sign. You could have, everybody could have their own deck of their little phrases,
Auron's deck is like, it's just pictures of his tweets constantly.
Yeah, exactly. Just pictures of his, let's check in on Western civilization. That's another one of his.
Yeah, someone's put in the BAP deck. That's just like nude guys. Everyone's just like a buff, and anime girls.
Attack the throat. Attack the throat. That would be that would be a BAP one. Okay, so all right, let's get this up then.
I wanted to do a disclaimer before we start, just in case, I don't know, the feds are listening. This is a channel of peace and love. I have a Schrodinger's love for Israel, depending on who I'm speaking to. If it's the Met Police, I dislike the nation of Israel. If it's Rishi Sunak and the regime, I love the nation of Israel.
I condemn all genocide.
Exactly. There is no hate. This is all value free. We're just looking, statistically speaking, at everything.
Yes. Now I do have Pharaoh, the bingo card I just made. I've got, so these are the things that I've earmarked from our years of experience of doing this now. Incongruously improbable family / Christmas dinner.
What do you mean by that? Clarify.
Yeah, I have noted over the years that there's a lot of families that I can't make head nor tail of them. Like the dad. Let's say like the dad is Indian, the wife is like white, the kids are like black. It's just like
it's the United Colours of Benetton in a household.
Yeah, the grandparents are from some other race. It's just like 10 people who aren't related having Christmas dinner. I mean, that doesn't happen in the real world. people tend to have Christmas with their own families, right? But in the world of adverts, you get the United Colors of Benetton family that doesn't exist in the real world. So that's one thing I'm looking out for. Another thing I'm looking out for.
Just on that, people always comment saying, "Oh, you need to get out more. That there is one person out there with that family," and it's like, okay, maybe you can find one family in the whole of London or the whole of the UK. But again, I think we're talking in generalities, in the abstract. This is not what.
Well, I mean,
like.
I think that in the world of mass advertising, you're thinking you have to think in terms of aggregate statistics.
Exactly.
And in if you're selling to real families, if your advert has a family that represents nobody's family, you're reaching an audience of nobody. So I would say that if you're an ad man listening to this, you should probably rethink the way you construct your families. You should just make them more realistic. You could have an all Chinese family, an all black family, and an all white family, which is probably, statistically speaking, much closer to the majority of families in the country. Also, I mean, well, 81.1% of them would be white, about 3% of them would be black, another 20% of them, about 15% wouldn't be celebrating Christmas at all.
Indeed.
The next one we've got on the bingo card is the late 30s wine aunt in waiting, who is alone at the party. That's a trope we saw a lot last year.
Well, I think the reason why it's so popular is because a lot of creatives are sort of hitting that level. There's an interesting thing where creative agencies bring in young people to get young ideas, and there was a big handover from the Gen Xers to the millennials, but the millennials are sort of staying in those jobs because if you see kind of job trends, the whole kind of like checking out thing. I don't know if you've heard of this at AA.
Yeah.
Millennials aren't interested in promotions or like wage slaving in the same kind of way that boomers and Gen Xers have done in the past, where they'll choose like prestige or societal, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like working for an NGO or something like that has more societal clout, and they'll take that over a bigger paying job in the city. But because of that, creative agencies are quite high up on the middle class spectrum, and so it's just populated with over 30s wine aunts now. Because again, most of them don't have kids of their own, or maybe they'll be thinking about having one kid and not having success because they left it so late. So like I would say that top middle is 30% of the entire creative industry right now. So.
They need to retire. It's a young person's game, I was always told.
Well, the problem is that Zoomers know nothing at all. Just imagine the millennials. They've brought in some Zoomers in new creative roles, and it's like, oh, come on, Zoomer, come up with some ideas, and they're just blank faces. They just don't know anything. They have no cultural references. They don't even understand anything at all. That'd be a good sitcom actually, like a Zoomer in the office.
Wasn't the one made that thing that was set in the BBC, W1A or whatever it was called?
Yeah, exactly. Again, that's a good representation of like millennial creative agencies. So
because he was useless, wasn't he? The intern in that was absolutely useless.
Yeah, it's this this spaced girl. So, I guess she's kind of like Gen X, isn't she? You know who I'm talking about? Is she spaced? Yeah.
I mean, space was like 20 years ago now.
Yeah, I know, but she was in. That's again showing my age there. But
top right, cool super gran. That is the super gran who's still acting like a teenager. The boomer who hasn't grown up.
I mean, this is very true. I think all spiritually, all boomers are like this, where they think they're cool forever. Again, there's this thing. I don't know if you mentioned it or someone else. Everyone keeps pushing back. 40 is the new 30. You heard that slogan before. Apart from it keeps going, every single decade the boomers grow older. It goes further and further up in the papers, and you'll see now, 60s is the new 50s. They are literally just not letting go of life. It's an eternal 1,000-year reich of Beatles music and Rolling Stones. literally when all the boomers are dead, they're going to put themselves into some kind of AI system to continue the cultural hegemony, and it will all be run by cool super grands.
Uncut's last issue was out. Who was on the front cover? Bob Dylan. Every single month.
It's genuinely fascinating to me that, again, they just dominate so much of the cultural bandwidth. Now, going back to kind of generational theory, and something you mentioned is, Zoomers are the artists. Will they step in the gap, and will we then see Zoomers dominating the cultural sphere for the next 30 to 40 years? See, that's the
trouble
question.
Is, how do you represent the Zoomer? Just like broccoli haircut. What have they got?
Well, but they have, again. It's interesting because they've been so disconnected with any form of tradition or reality, and they've all been sort of spread out because of social media and the internet, that I'm not sure they're able to create anything in the same kind of way. So, for example, the boomers had, in terms of getting their kind of music out there, something like the radio was a very powerful medium because everyone listened to it, and when you hear the stories of bands in the 60s, etc., they would literally kind of cut a record themselves and then get some airplay coverage, and then all of a sudden there'll be successful stars. You just don't have those kind of. There's so much noise going on, if that makes sense. You're fighting with not only everyone else of your age, but also like the whole catalog, the whole of Spotify you're competing with. It's difficult.
So then we've got no man in the advert at all. Completely man-free advert.
I mean, this ties back to the wine aunt. The wine aunt's insisting that they don't need no man. So
then we've got the black man with statistically improbable house wearing a jumper, which we saw a lot last year.
Well, it's interesting because they would often they'll often have like black families, which again is statistically representative. Makes sense for certain brands, etc. But then they'll put them in the plushest houses you'll ever see. It's kind of like millennials and Zoomers would be wishing to live in a house like that. Mind you, if you see some of the stats going around on Twitter about council house percentages, and people are living in $1 million house, maybe I've got it wrong. And actually, this is the reality for London council houses.
Some of these guys are like living in like Chelsea.
This is exactly. Although, if it was accurate, they would all have mold on the wall, and would have the chirping of the fire alarms. Statistically speaking.
I mean, maybe it's all their millions from appearing in adverts.
That's true. I mean, there's got to be a thing where they're massively disproportionately, because if you think about like black cut through in both ads, but also acting and musicals, for example, all statistically disproportionate, they must register like as some kind of super, like as having super influence for their actual percentage in the country. So maybe
Sleeping Grandad thrown aside like trash in an echo of Samuel Beckett's Endgame.
I love this one so much because is it the sort of third act? I can't quite remember, but the granddad like lives physically in a bin, and I saw this at the National, and it was like a wheelie bin, and he would occasionally kind of pop out of it, and it's just like such a great, like Oscar from Sesame Street is.
Yes,
it's how to see it.
In fact, I wonder if Oscar from Sesame Street was influenced by Samuel Beckett.
You think so? That would be epic,
the questions that you won't get on any other channel. Is that? But yeah, I mean, we saw that trope a lot, didn't we? At the incongruous party, the old granddad is a white guy who's just kind of like sleeping as his entire culture and history is trashed around him.
There's again, maybe there's something true to this, but I think this is more wishful thinking from those wine aunts, where again they as part of this kind of process of culturally regearing the nation, they need to belittle and demolish everything that's come before them, and so part of that is basically by saying you're irrelevant, you're in the trash bin, everything you have to say is non-interesting. My experience of the kind of older generation granddads is they're actually way more active and way more it is the boomer waffen is real. That they are out on the streets for good or for ill. Like if you see, was it the Just Stop Oil protests? Filled with boomer waffen at the same time. These active, active boomers. So I think the reality is actually quite different to this. But I think this is a spiritual longing for the binning of the old patriarch.
But in a strange way, we share it, Pharaoh, just for very different reasons.
the dark truth.
We want the day of the pillow, but they want the, they long for something else. Asian inclusion.
Yeah, maybe we need on that. Maybe we need to do a dissident review of Endgame to see actually maybe Beckett was right all along. Anyway. Asian inclusion. I mean, this was actually rare for many years. You would see hugely disproportionate black percentages compared to even the latest census reports, but then almost zero Asian inclusion. So it'll be interesting to see if we're going to get a proportionally representative.
I mean, this is a subcategory, but I've noticed, Pharaoh, that Asian inclusion often comes in the form of a fat and jolly Indian man. I don't know why they do that. They often make the Indian guy fat and jolly. I don't know why.
There's something interesting there where I think they try and tick the Asian box, but then they don't really respect actually that there are many different strata to those groups. For example, inner city Pakistani Muslim, for example, who statistically speaking will be if you see their kind of council house percentages, they're very, very high. In terms of unemployment, is very, very high compared to the average, compared to the kind of Brahmin managerial class.
The Hindu,
yeah. But even I think within the Hindu, there is kind of like a few subsets, and I think there's the definite kind of like middle class, aspirationally, almost kind of like spiritually white in some ways, like the
Priti Patel,
the Pritis, etc. And those two sides don't really get represented, and it's kind of like your maybe like lower caste Hindu that does get represented, like you said, the jolly Asian. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see who we see.
Yeah, and quite boringly, we've just got nod to the alphabet people.
I mean that's standard. We've been so normalized on this that it's just. It sort of just doesn't, we don't even feel it anymore. So,
and then I've just put disabled. And the reason for that is because I often wonder at the HR posters and things, just how many people they just stick in wheelchairs as well. No, I don't know. I don't know if this translates to the world of TV advertising, but if you ever, that kind of horrible Globo Homo art style that was in a couple of years back.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they love just like inserting people in wheelchairs, willy-nilly, So, yeah.
There was a thing for amputated people as well. That was kind of like, I think wheelchairs is kind of old hat. It's like amputees now, or deaf people, yeah. So let's see what kind of disabled we get. I must say that I try not to look through all of the ads. I do a cursory glance to see if they're just lame or not, to try and weed out the time wasters. But this year is a real return to Fresh Prince. I think they've got the orders from above, from the CEOs. Partly this is also, we are living in the middle of a recession.
Are you saying that my cigar is back on?
Well, I think it's really tricky because there's the kind of idea of different castles and different groups of elites. You got to think that the creatives who are running this stuff are your non-governing elites. I think the CEOs and the kind of the C-suite of businesses, they're partially governing because they, if you see, for example, who's donating to parties, quite a substantial number are CEOs. So I would put them in the governing class. The CEOs are really feeling the burn, though. We because of the inflation, we've had a de facto recession for the last year, certainly in terms of their balance sheets. If you just look and see how people's end of year financials are going to be looking, because most people will be on the American accounting system, January to January. So we'll see a whole load of year reports. And basically inflation's massively increased overheads. People have had bigger wage demands, etc. So a lot of margin's been taken out of these businesses. Also, we had probably the worst October I've seen in a long time. December's looking quite sluggish. November was very good, but what it means is that a lot of the market's shifting towards sale-oriented things. What I'm trying to say is that things are getting worse for businesses. More people are dropping out. I'm seeing more companies going to administration. So you can't afford to mess around. You know what's the phrase? It's like a luxury beliefs. You know, a lot of the. I wonder if a lot of the woke stuff is going to get squeezed out by the reality, which is brands need to sell stuff to stay alive, and the survival instinct is going to kick in. And I think certainly on the CEO governing castle, the desire to kind of return to Fresh Prince is going to be very large. Now, in terms of on the ground, the creators haven't changed; they've gotten worse. So they're desperate. They desperately want to do the kind of worst kind of woke stuff. So there is that
tension.
There's that tension and friction, and I think we're going to see increasingly sneaky stuff being thrown in there. We're also probably going to see essentially, I think the CEOs will win out, certainly in this space, because they're the ones that are paying for the ads. You know, the life of a creative agency is very rocky because so much of their money relies on these big advertising campaigns, specifically at Christmas time. So they will suck up everything to keep the lights on. Mm-hmm. So I think certainly in this sphere, you are correct. Now, whether that plays out in the universities and all the other areas, and especially the police force, I think is another interesting one where woke has really captured that institution, and I can't see it going away.
I mean, there's a couple of little nuances here, Pharaoh. We will start the ads in a moment. First is that at the end of the line, there's a great Grim Reaper, right? Remember, at the end of my bet, white boys need to die in their wars.
Yeah.
Right. Which means that from the very top, from the government, they're like, you need to change your messaging because people don't like this shit. They're not signing up. From the American government, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that is coming down the pike, and everything else will shift from there. Okay. The second thing is that where it comes to the police, I think one of the things that we see here is that Sadiq Khan, they did a real big mistake, which was putting the Met Police under the mayor. And obviously, Sadiq Khan is still very much a wokester. And I think that is a major battle that is going to coming down the pike, i.e. Westminster versus the mayor's office. That devolution that they did of the mayor's offices in this country is horrid.
It's been disastrous. Yeah, it's been disastrous for that control.
In America, it's very much like red state, blue state, red city, blue cities type thing. Okay, so with all it, but anyway, you know that there's that meme of the giant pipe and then the little kind of little wimpy guy getting the drips, right? You know, there's that meme. I can't. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a big thing coming through. It'll be like money for Ukraine, and then like the American people get the drips, right?
Yeah.
Aaron McIntyre is currently getting the very last drips of the woke cycle, in my opinion. So he's like every single day now, he's parading around because he's getting desperate. He's saying, "Oh, look at this woke thing! Look at this woke thing! Look at this woke movie that's coming out." But what he doesn't understand is that the life cycles of these things are, especially when it's a movie, it's like 2 years, 3 years. So it would have been commissioned into 2020. You know, the film goes into production in 2021, finally gets released now. Maybe some COVID delays as well in there. Okay. What I'm saying is that the total amount of woke stuff, it's on its way out, in my opinion. And that these Christmas ads, Pharaoh, I would say are a market indicator because they were made last. Right?
They would have been made in the last 3 months, or even less than that sometimes.
So these are as current as we can see, whereas movies are coming out and maybe a year or 2 years lag indicator, right?
But you have to, again, this is sort of different castle and different elites, though. Do you know what I'm saying? And different funders. This is directly funded from, like I said, the CEO merchant class, while there is the kind of big producers, etc., which is a different kind of elite. But I would say that they're actually weaker in some ways than the CEOs. If you look at political donors, you virtually never see like Warner and stuff like that, for example. I don't know what you'd call them, like the big kind of like production media companies. They never spend money on influencing politics, which says to me that they care about personal enrichment over national influence. So I think they have a weaker influence, but I think they are a different castle.
But they do have huge influence with many people who see their movies.
Yes, I mean, again, but that doesn't matter though. Again, that's the popular solution,
All right, so let's have a look then. We're starting with a McDonald's. It's called Fancy a McDonald's This Christmas. And let's hit play on this travesty. As ever, Pharaoh, just say stop and I'll stop.
Of course, yeah. Sorry, stop. Like, can we go back to just like that karaoke scene with two of them at a second? I mean, a little bit further back.
Yeah,
I mean, just the phrenology check right here. You know, this is modern Britain, basically. Oh dear.
Now, do you think we've got our first Bing Asian inclusion, right? But do you think she is pretty Patel coded, or
no? This is definitely like a lower. I mean, the profile.
She's not pretty coded. She is. We need another phrase like Mohammed coded or something. I don't know what you call it. Like,
I think so.
Okay. All right.
And then look, I mean, this guy is clearly like a centre-rightist. This is a Tory boy. He's wearing a suit and a jazzy tie. Maximum Norwood level. He's desperately holding onto his hands here. Can you see? He's singing for his life here. This is the world that the Tory boys want you to have.
I reckon we should call it Edgware Road coded. Edgware Road.
Tis the season to be jolly.
Sorry, pause there a second. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay, just go back to the the mobile. The mobile phone. The mobile phone. I was thinking this is like a classic. When she receives the text notification.
Oh right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. This is like a Zoomer kind of like coding where apparently as a percentage Zoomers emoji speak substantially more than any other group. So again, you can sort of telling the age range already from burger.
Is that because they're functionally retarded?
I just don't use words. We're returning to like a pre-script form of civilization before linear A. You know, this is like just before linear A where they just talked in pictures.
Return to hieroglyphics, you know. All right.
No, I was going to say hieroglyphics are too advanced for the Zoomer. It's like literally like cavemen drawings on the wall.
Oh no. Can I just say the premise of this advert is really sad. They've left their Christmas party to go to McDonald's. Come on, talk about the ashes of civilization.
This is reality. This is they should do a spoof version where it's like people in a museum, etc., and then they form this group walking out as a representation of modern civilization, sort of leaving society and leaving civilization to chow down on the most disgusting slop in town.
Yeah, can I just what's the deal with this this backdrop here? Because that doesn't look like modern. That looks like kind of Britain in the 30s or something. That bit.
I think it's just a gambit to get Santa included in the advert, probably. Sorry. Pause a second. Was that a diverse nutcracker? Can we just go back to the Nutcracker? Diverse Nutcracker.
I mean, he's he's from the same line as Isaac Newton. That was an all-white family, though.
This is it. This is the beginnings. Here we go.
Look, all of them white,
and a dad as well in there. That's quite rare.
Although I will note, I mean, it's possible that their ethnicities may be
profile.
Can I just say, by the way, I'm sorry to say this, but having been to a number of these now, am I allowed to say that nativities are just generally rubbish? Am I allowed to say that? I mean,
very, very cruel, very cruel.
I mean, you know, if you want my honest review, none of them knew their lines. They, you know, out of tune. You know, they were just getting clapped because they were 3 and 4 year olds.
Yeah.
That's why they were getting clapped.
I'm very against clapping every single time. It was literally every single time anyone did anything that deserved a clap. I'm very anti that, partly because I'm such a curmudgeon. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it's like, you know, it's good to get the kids on the stage, I think, and get that experience of what it's like to present to people. But I think the sycophantic coddling of them is what makes it tough.
AAA played a star this year.
Really? That's a good role. That's a good role.
She was the big star. And while she was on the stage, she was like, "Daddy!" And then she gave me a big wave.
Oh, that's lovely.
She needs to understand the context that you're on stage now, dear.
You're just shouting, "Stay in character! Stay in character!"
Yeah, exactly. Where's your Lee Strasberg now? Anyway, let's carry on.
Who wants one more song?
I mean, that's literally UAA.
What? Running out with an activity to go in the corner. Oh no!
There we go.
Oh my god. He is Sunak coded. Come on.
Yes, yeah.
Sunak coded.
Definitely, yeah.
This is an Indian, because he's like, they're intimating that he's got a lot of money, this guy. But look, they're going to be one of those dinky couples soon.
Yeah, exactly. And alphabet representation there.
Alphabet representation.
Also, just pause a second, because even isn't it a Love Actually thing?
Yeah, that was a Love Actually callback.
So again, this kind of showing that it's kind of like Gen X down to Zoomers. Basically, they're trying to target here, even the music and stuff. Yeah,
they've queer coded it. They have. Yeah. I heard this thing the other day where each generation has got its favorite mascot group. So, like the Boomers, the Bloomers clearly had the chosen ones, right? The special people. Gen X had blacks because they I think Roots hit in like 1978 or something. So they are like peak, like Martin Luther King. Like I remember growing up as a kid, and like my favorite one in the 18 was Mr. T, and
right.
Kind of. Then they had the millennials had the Pink Brigade, basically.
Okay.
And the Zoomers have got the probably the trans. Yeah. What do you think about that idea?
No, I think that's interesting and true. I don't know whether that's just waves of increasing inclusion coming through. Just the
you see, the thing is that when it's just the special people, it's the Schmittian exception, right? Now you add the blacks, the Schmittian exception is weakened. Now you add the alphabet people, the Schmittian exception is weakened again. To now you get to the point where you're seeing the Schmittian exception fall apart because equality means no special perks for anyone, right?
No, exactly.
Oh, okay. What did you make of that? I thought it was insufferable and terrible. off to the worst possible start.
I mean, what do we see? We saw a bunch of people just leaving their lives, coming together. The only thing that unifies us is the mass consumption of high-fat slop. So
I just can't think of anything less Christmassy than leaving a Christmas party to go to McDonald's. It's just not Christmassy, is it?
there's something really strange about it. I don't know about what. Again, I've been out of the kind of corporate sphere a little bit, but all of the costumes, etc., seem very out of place or whatever. There's a sort of forced Christmasness to that group. You know, this is this really what a Christmas looks like? Oh, look, they've got the pantomime dame there as well. You know, is this what Christmas is? And I don't think that I don't know. Doesn't feel like it is anymore. Interesting. Can you see? All white staff there. Interestingly, non-diverse.
They got the GIMP quotient right, but I would guess that these are real staff.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
they probably were like, let's do this at a real McDonald's, and they actually did this. You know, although I will note a lack of 5 stars on the badges. I had my 5 stars, of course.
I know. I mean, you should be in this advert. Yeah, I think at the end that'd been such a good cameo.
Also, I just noticed they're on roller skates on the concrete, so on the tarmac.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily like. I think again, in terms of targeting, I think they've played it relatively. They've played it by the numbers again. In terms of airtime, it's mostly white people, a little bit of black, a little bit of Asian in there. So I think that's probably hit. I bet they've looked through the percentages exactly and matched it up. That's what it feels like to me.
It wasn't even though it had diversity, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Apart from the egregious gay Love Actually moment, it wasn't that woke in you. It wasn't that in your face woke.
Well, this is what I'm saying about it. I think we're going to see this kind of like massive rolling back of stuff. So someone's saying about this isn't very London focused, and again, I wonder if part of this rollback is going to be a focus on the nation as a whole, because while again, like an all-white staff is, I don't even think it's that rare in London actually, because you do tend to see it, you know, for a fair percentage. But if you go to the suburbs, for example, or like any other town or city in outside of London and maybe Birmingham, then you know that's what most on average what they look like. So I think
this crowd is not very white though. Looking at that,
crowd. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And again, I wonder. Again, this is some of the tension that's in place where, again, because the creatives are trying to source a whole lot of extras for that scene. So, and they'll be getting it from London. And again, this is where they're getting their kind of woke points. But I'm 100%. So, for example, the decisions that the CEOs would have been making would have been who are the staff in the store. So again, they made a purpose decision to have an all-white McDonald's staff team. That would not have been the creatives, while the creatives would have brought in these people as part of it. So I think this is that they're trying their best to kind of make it as woke as possible, but ultimately it's still a Fresh Prince advert.
See, part of me does wonder at what point though is this just like an average British crowd in 2023?
I mean, it's not, is it?
20% needs to be 80% white.
This is maybe London. This is maybe London.
Typical London crowd.
Yeah,
typical
I would say.
London. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go from McDonald's to Burger King. A 7-minute advert, Pharaoh. Okay.
We can skip it if it's too much. I can't remember why I put the whole thing in there. This is a bit.
They've got epic for this. Burger King have. I'll just regale you once again with my favourite McDonald's tale. That's in the manager's office when I was at McDonald's. There was a poster on the wall that said, "This is not Burger King. You don't have it your way." And I love that. I love that. All right, let's carry on. Okay. I'm just stopping it for copyright purposes. This is probably like Buble or something, isn't it?
No, this is like a driving home for Christmas, isn't it? It's like it's from the it's a like late '80s song, isn't it? They're trying to have this kind of crazy Christmas vibes already, aren't they?
If you're driving home for Christmas.
Right. Okay.
I mean, he uses a sat nav anymore, though.
Well, I've got one built into my car, so I use it quite a lot.
Fair.
It's almost rude not to in my car. It's just there. It's just okay. Okay.
And need to put food in your faces.
I don't have the voice on though. I just have like the map in the background.
Our drive-thrus are open for business. Yeah.
Does this really go on for 7 minutes?
I mean, this is too much.
7-minute advert for that?
It was probably done on the cheap. That's why they could do it. This is their attempt to create a viral video, I think.
It's too long, though, isn't it? It needs to be just a minute long.
Yeah,
Get the idea.
We'll stop after a minute, maybe.
Turn in to your local Burger King. Yeah, this sounds wrong. To direct you there, we torch this song. Driving through the home of the Whopper for Christmas.
All right, that'll do us.
I mean, it's pretty terrible.
I got nothing to. You got anything to say about this?
Well, again, I think this is them trying to create like a early 2000s viral video, but I think those days are over, and this is also not that particularly funny and a bit irrelevant. Can we just see the view count on it? I'd just be interested to see how well it did.
14,000.
Yeah, no.
which is not particularly great if you're Burger King, but
you should leave a comment. Too long.
Somebody's written best ad ever made with 2 Ds.
Oh dear.
Fire. Are these just like the friends of the?
Yeah, no. This will be paid for stuff. I think
I heard this on Spotify. Fire, bro. Who watched that and thought, yeah, it's straight fire, bro. Straight fire.
So a 7-minute long production using sat nav, so that's just painful.
I mean, there is the first hint of transhumanism here, where we've decided to go for no representation at all. You are just represented by your sat nav now.
I wonder how many AI generated ads we're going to see coming up.
Well, that was poor.
Very weak.
McDonald's won.
Yeah, I think so.
In the
victory.
Burger King versus McDonald's stakes, even though McDonald's advert was awful. So here is Macy's. Right. So he's black. This is a little black boy.
Yeah, but then the dad's white. You know, this is his wife's son.
Hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus.
He's white.
Yes, I told you it's his girlfriend's son. So
I don't know. I just thought he'd be Middle Eastern in some way, but I could be wrong. It's hard to if they're American. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
Often, like where people are from, if that makes any sense, because they're just like everything, you know.
Sorry, hold on a second. Can we go back to that child ruining the non-stick bottom of that pan just then? Just some unhappy customer is just. Doesn't matter.
That is delinquent behaviour. That was not.
Yeah, go back here a couple of seconds. Look at that. Just ruining that pan.
Absolute delinquency. So she was holding their place in a queue. Is that the idea?
Yeah. To see Santa.
Right. Now, technically, by the international laws of queue jumping, that is not allowed. That's what it says.
You think so?
In all the theme parks, it says you're not allowed to hold a place in the queue. Although people do it the world over.
I think for a Santa, I think that's okay.
This is for after work.
Who gives a present to Santa? Who gives a present to Santa?
I mean, it was rubbish.
Very weak.
My heart was not warmed by this.
But what's the message? Give presents to Santa Claus. I don't. What did we really see? What was the story? We saw like I mean, the dad had already checked out. Can I say this child was just running rampant in the store? He was like using perfume spray. He was jumping on beds, getting his like disgusting germs all over all those kind of clean stuff that other people are going to buy. You know, he's not interested in buying a bed at all. He's just running. He's just running rampage. And then if you see the dad behind him, just like worn, destroyed, just tired of his wife's kid, you know, what am I even doing here? Why am I with this woman? Why am I looking after her child?
And also, he bought those shoes. It was his idea, but the kid gets all the credit.
I mean, he's just spiritual. He's a spiritually broken man. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm buying presents for Santa now. That's how literally downtrodden and mentally eroded he is.
I mean, he could be the biological dad, in theory. Okay,
I mean, look at the demeanor. Look at the demeanor as he walks around like with a coat in his hands, just sad and defeated man.
Go look at this dad here.
But maybe a bit further when he's just kind of walking behind the child.
Physiognomy though, dishonest chin.
I mean, is there? I mean, would you even call that a chin? There's just nothing there.
Okay, shall we move on from this? Yes, another terrible advert. They've been awful this year, Farrow. Awful adverts.
What am I dreaming of this holiday season?
Can I just say already, right? What do you call this voice?
What am I dreaming of this holiday season?
That is the most annoying. That voice has become very prevalent in American stuff. I can't stand it.
It's like 10 packs of cigarettes a day, New York. I know that this. I mean, this is a Ralph Lauren ad, so this is. I tried to put some luxury in some of the ads this year, so we can see what this is targeting the elites. So I almost imagine it's some kind of Red Scare, Dasher-esque, husky-voiced.
They call it vocal fry, Farrow. Vocal
right,
fry.
Okay, there we go.
Ugh. I hate vocal fry.
What am I dreaming of this holiday season?
I don't care. Fuck off. Oh, sorry. Let's carry on.
I'm dreaming of the simple moments.
Here you go. Here's your luxury audience here. There's something. There is a weird kind of fetishization. If you see kind of like a modern Vogue magazine and some of the kind of models that they use for these kind of like super African models, so, but not in like a beautiful kind of way. So, for example, you know, someone like Naomi Campbell, I think I didn't know how she fared in the who would you do
terribly
in index.
She got terribly. She didn't do well.
But I mean, she did. I mean, she's pretty. I don't know. She's relatively popular, but she's based on kind of traditional beauty aesthetics. But for example, the casting here of the woman on the left, you know, I don't know. It's very kind of properly out of Africa. But then also, I feel like it can't really be targeting the kind of African audience at the same time. So, for example, if you see like Nigerian elites, for example, or whatever, they're often much lighter skinned. You know,
yeah, they're kind of like Nefertiti coded or something. You know,
yeah, exactly. So I think this is like white liberals sort of signaling that this is the kind of like most gritty African face that we could find, basically.
I mean, this is a tower. I mean, she is not a. Why she's a model, I don't know.
But this is yeah.
He I can understand, but she. I mean, that's not like. You know, I remember this phrase before, the Africanization of beauty standards, but this is not even that, because, like you said, this is not. I mean, her physiognomy is very much like kind of Live Aid 85.
Well, this is it. This is literally just the kind of like the rawest. But this is what I'm saying. It's almost like a weird kind of fetishization of the African, basically. You know.
I also need to call out one of the worst comments I've ever read. AA, the guy who uses an avatar used vocal fry all the time. You're comparing the voice of George Sanders, the voice of Shere Khan, to this. George Sanders did not have vocal fry. Ridiculous comment. What a ridiculous comment. Anyway, let's carry on.
Connecting deeper.
Having my children around me.
Opening presents and being together.
Dancing with my family. That to me is what it's all about.
The feeling of love.
Laughter.
And happiness.
Here's to a season for dreaming.
Ugh.
I mean, notice not a single white guy in there. I mean, one of the most representative families is probably the Asian family, because again, Ralph Lauren, their biggest market now is China by far. But again, the single mom and the kids is interesting. There we go. Look, Asian children playing chess. This is
one who's winning though. She's thrashing him. The girl is beating the boy big time at the chess.
Yeah,
look.
Just getting utterly destroyed. What you don't know is that actually she is 0.01% Jewish, so she's a Jewish chess player.
Yeah. There is a. I mean, is this woman here the target audience for this though?
Yeah, I think so. I like in terms of who Ralph Lauren sells to, it's very much like the Asian market's big. MENA is Middle East, North Africa is decent size, but that's mainly like Arabs. But they don't really like Ralph Lauren that much. They like more of the showy brands. So I would still say it's a European and American brand, but it's kind of like rich Hamptons-esque, more like old school. Like Ralph Lauren was properly old school WASP, preppy style for a long period, and they kind of got hit by the woke hammer pretty hard in the last couple of years. But that's who they were speaking to.
Mummy, why am I going to grow up gay? That's what he's. I mean, it's horrible advert. I didn't like that. I thought it was awful.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
What were we on? 0 for 4. 0 for 4.
Here's to a season for dreaming.
Delicious dining now. I knew it. They couldn't get to the end. It was only a 15-second ad. We were doing so well, Barrow. We were doing so well. But look, there she is. There she is. So there we are.
Hey, Sainsbury's.
Can we do a big
I think Pharaoh may have just popped out a second, but I'll go back to see if he has any comments on this. While Pharaoh's popped out, I'll just have a look at some. Are you back, Pharaoh?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Only a 15-second ad, but well, you'll see. It's going very well, and then something happens at 13, just at the final hour. They take it away from you. Watch. It's going all right. Boom.
There we go. And then you're hit with the full family. So tragic. I thought it was quite a good advert until, well, maybe they're just trying to get there. This is where, again, I think that's the tension I was talking about. So
there is. I mean, I don't think we should be giving freebies. I mean, is it a good advert though? Even in conventional terms, it's just an advert. It's just like we're giving them points now. Just for not being that woke. I would say it's not. Oh, okay.
You're still harsh on them. I thought this is one of the better ones personally. I thought it was nice and short. It focused on the product instead. Happy family. You just hit with that last scene. So you're right. There's no freebies, but
she was very Matilda code. Like Roald Dahl's Matilda.
That's true. Yeah.
Kind of. What she reminded me of a little bit. All right, let's carry on then.
Breaking news. Santa Claus delivers gifts one day early.
Also here, Christmas gifts were delivered a day early.
Christmas is coming early this year.
Christmas is back in town. It's been a hard year for everyone. The snow is coming down. Tonight it's gonna be alright. I wanna tell you before you close the door. Christmas is back in town again. And we're all gonna let it out.
Okay, let's stop there a second. Okay. So we're greeted by, obviously, Santa Claus, whether he is or not. It's heavily implied, and the news is Santa's delivered presents early. What is Santa doing with his spare time off? He is visiting Aldi, and he's going to the pig troughs down the center of the aisle. That's what he's desperate to get the pig trough.
I didn't have the what do they call it? Little down the middle, the pig trough, the Aldi pig trough. I didn't have it on my scorecard, unfortunately. Now, do you think it's possible to go to Aldi and get that brown paper bag?
I know I shop at Lidl rather than Aldi, so they only do plastic.
Oh, you shop at Lidl, do you? I just wonder whether that more aesthetically pleasing brown paper bag is
Yeah,
available.
I think that's fake.
Don't be stranger. Christmas is back in town. Love is back in town.
With Aldi, a good Christmas Eve meal is for everyone, even for Santa Claus. Oops, sorry. Aldi, welcome to the new consumers.
Wow. Pharaoh, not a single score.
I know. This is what I'm saying.
Nothing ticked. There was no Incongruous family. There was no Cool Scoot. I mean,
it's quite obnoxious. That's the only thing I'd say. So,
but we didn't tick anything.
That's true.
Come on, Aaron McIntyre. That was our first completely non-woke ad, I reckon, that we've seen to date in 4 years. Okay, let's carry on. So here is now Christmas, now TV Christmas.
Greetings, Catherine.
Horrible, far too many races.
You're here to review our shows, movies, and sport, not our mince pies.
Show me what you got, Rudolph.
Now, can I just ask something? Is she famous in some way, and is he from some sitcom or something?
I think she's a comedian.
I get the impression that these are established characters that I don't know. I feel like he's a sitcom character and that she is from some comedy thing. That's what I'm guessing here.
I mean, she's awful, so.
Those movies and sport, not our mince pies.
Show me what you got, Rudolph.
Santa's coming to town.
Now it's Christmas. Now, so much to love.
Can you imagine if that was your Christmas?
I mean, I thought it was very depressing, the offering they had. Like, go back to the what they were showing. No, I think it's right at the end. Sorry, just the list of shows.
We've got Mario the movie, Love Actually, Elf.
I mean, that's funny with the Love Actually return. This is more of your
football. By Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Rob and Ramesh versus Lapland. Wasn't Ramesh the mate comedian?
He was, yeah.
I mean, this had a lot of low-key wokery in it, by the way. I mean, she's why not? Why not?
She is definitely 100%.
This is clearly, this fellow here is gay code. Where is he? This fellow here is gay coded. I mean, he's clearly meant to be.
How do you work that out?
Well, look, just what?
Okay.
Movies and sport, not our mince pies.
Come on, he's gay coded. Come on. No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Royal Mail. No. Royal Mail in good hands.
Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty bad. This one's very bad.
I still think that
just to warn you.
If Delicious Dining Christmas at Next is winning, this is not a bumper crop this year at all.
No.
Terrible adverts.
With a calm, carefree mind, I wander these streets.
Have a lovely day.
Pavement and open skies so clear and free. This weight of ink and paper, the only burden I carry.
Sorry, can we just go back?
Sunlit building.
The person holding clay.
The person what? Sorry,
holding clay. There we go. Yeah, this is obviously some kind of like a mug company, but that's not how you. That's not how you make a mug. Just by like putting water on a clay like that. You have to throw it on a wheel.
Is this? Yeah. They're making pottery. It's a pottery mug company. Oh, okay.
This weight of ink and paper, the only burden I carry. Past repeating houses and sunlit.
Now, what color is that arm?
It's Vitaligo.
What do you call that then? Is that our first
Vitiligo? Yeah.
Is that our first disabled check or what?
I don't know if it technically counts. I don't think it does.
It must be some sort of condition, though, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. People are saying that it was a like a new popular thing.
What, to have that? How can that be a popular thing?
To kind of like showcase people.
What, because they're kind of in between, like Michael Jackson? like Michael Jackson.
I don't know about that.
Houses and sunlit buildings. Surely freedom is a peaceful walk down a known route, greeting morning's people with smiles.
Wheelchair. Just saying. Disabled.
Smiles and stories.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much. You're very kind.
To think I was once so bound by fate, but now I notice many little, beautiful things.
I didn't like this at all.
It was interesting because they're trying to kind of portray him as a almost this kind of romantic figure. You know, like if you go back to him walking through the forest and stuff with the arms up, and with the poetry where they're kind of, you know, this is man with nature. So, but it's, you know, romanticism is a distinctly British and Germanic thing, I would say.
Yeah.
And you know, and he's obviously like a father. He's made breakfast, etc. This is his kind of journey through, journey through life. You see these kind of beautifully clean places. He's literally, I mean, again, the handshaking with the grandma is kind of interesting. This is again the you know, there was that guy going around, you know, that kind of rotund man who was saying that if it wasn't for them, then the NHS would collapse or something. This is a similar kind of. This is how they see themselves getting the handshake here.
It's an evocation of community in a society that has low trust, basically. They're trying to invoke the spirit of Trumpton here or something like that. But the trouble is they're doing it in a society where that doesn't exist, so it doesn't come up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, that it's almost kind of like this is like a perfect version of society, but it doesn't, statistically speaking, happen in this kind of way. So interesting that you know, it was these guys that kind of pulled it together as well.
Here's Fuzzy Feelings, the Apple holiday film. Is this Apple?
I'm not sure. It's not coming up though.
Oh, it's not coming up. This one. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Isn't it a pity?
Oh shit, we've got Beetle. Is that because they're Apple own all the Beatles?
Yeah, probably.
How have they possibly afforded Beatles? Oh, it's George Harrison. George Harrison, isn't it?
Now, isn't it?
Is that a Swedish toy store?
Well, I think it's meant. Yeah, I mean, it's meant to be a Swedish toy, I think. So.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's obviously like a normal bus stop, isn't it? So.
Shame how we break each other's hearts.
I have to be careful. I just imagine George Harrison has got like the wildest copyright crawlers in the entire world. I mean, Beatles are
pretty honest, yeah.
Completely no go. But anyway, is she black?
Mm-hmm.
And cause each other pain. How we take each other's love. That.
So hold on a second. She works here, but she lives here. Where's that then? Where's this place that she lives?
I mean, it's the size of that loft is absolutely monstrous. So that must be an absolutely huge house. So even if she had that floor, that's like
it's a studio apartment in a place with a window like that.
It must be. I mean, that's like $500,000 nowadays.
But she works in that office. Okay, it's kind
How we take each other's love.
Pharaoh, is this actually the woman who made this advert?
but yeah, this is actually probably true. Yeah, exactly.
Are these the people who made the advert? That's the question.
Yeah.
Without thinking anymore. Forgetting.
Oh my God. Who's this guy?
It's their boss.
But look at the state on it. They've made this guy look like he's from the 1970s or something like that. They've deliberately made him look like he's from a different decade and a different.
Yeah, that's true. Again, if
he's traveled and
even because the time stuff is very anachronistic, I think.
Yeah, and even the wooden background makes it just looks like it's from the 70s. That's all.
To give back. Isn't it a pity? Some things take so long. But how?
Bass.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say Chad.
I'm starting to like this guy.
Will I explain? Not too many people can see we're all the same. And because of all the tears.
Was she imagining him being run over by a car?
So basically, the premise for this whole thing is she doesn't like her boss, and then she's acting out revenge fantasies at home through the form of stock film and animation. The whole thing's really psychologically interesting because what has the guy done wrong? What has the boss done wrong? She turned up late. In the first scene, she turned up late. Everyone else is in the office, and all he was doing was pointing out the fact that she was, everyone else was working. Yeah, exactly. Then he didn't share a lift, and it's like, well, maybe he's got a place to go to. He's more important than you are. I don't think she likes the fact that he's even telling her to do stuff. I mean, but this is literally what any office is like. Your boss isn't there to be your best friend or to serve you. You're there to serve him, and I think she just hates the idea of working on his terms. But then, like, how does she deal with that or internalize it? Well, she has him being electrocuted. He has him being run over by a car. I mean, is that normal behavior for a person to kind of act out? Like, that's what she's thinking in her head. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's very, very dark, I think. There's almost something of like the voodoo as well. The idea of creating homunculi and acting out the punishments on those figures that you want the person to have as well. So,
can I just say the mise en scène in this advert is quite strong. I mean, this shot of this office here.
Yeah. The color landscape it's very muted, drawn out. They've kind of like, even though you can see the red in his jumper, for example, it's just like totally muted compared to everything else. So it's like strong grays and mids.
It's almost like a Kubrick. It's almost like a little Kubrick film or something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's some good cinematography on it. So.
Your eyes can hope to see the beauty that surrounds them.
You're fired. You're fired.
Isn't it a pity?
Oh no.
So stop a second. Like, but what's wrong? Like, this is such a weird thing. What's wrong with being alone? You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's alone at Christmas.
Well, it's not. Is that Christmas Day though? You know, is that actually Christmas Day? There's nothing wrong. I don't know. I think it's just like
he's just could be could be me in the Yummy Mummy Cafe. Like
this is it. This is exactly it. Exactly.
Maybe he just wants some time on his own.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, by the way, I noticed that the let's see who's in the reveling table. Let's have a look. Let's quickly see who's reveling. Hold on. Young, diverse crowd. Him on his own. Black woman and white woman talking.
I mean, he looks down, but probably because of his scenario. He's just kind of looking at the degradation around him.
Leave him alone, and he's just having some soup.
He just wants to relive the memories of his childhood. That place used to be filled with working class locals, and it's now filled with millennial hipsters.
Seeing the area gentrified and robbed of its natural local character.
Exactly.
She's feeling guilt, Pharaoh, which makes me think that this advert is already unrealistic. The idea that she'd have empathy or guilt is completely unrealistic. That she'd be able to overlook her own narcissism for even 5 minutes is unrealistic.
Exactly. She's been slightly inconvenienced at work.
Not too many people can see we're all the same.
But Pharaoh, I've just realised something. Empathy for the old white man. This is an anti-woke advert, Pharaoh. I'm telling you.
That is true. Although there is something kind of like paternalistic about it at the same time, isn't it? Kind of saying,
"It's come on, McIntyre. Come on, McIntyre." This is an anti-woke advert. It's turned the usual tropes on its head, and it's asking the audience of entitled non-white millennial women to feel sorry for old white guys. That's basically what is this advert is.
Well, let's see to the end first, but I think you're right.
If she kills him in the next minute, I'm wrong. She's going to get him a dog. Tell you now, she's going to get him a dog.
Not too many.
They actually work in the gherkin, Farah.
Do you know the area?
No. Look, it is suggested strongly that they work in the gherkin. Look, there is the
no. Surely it's the building in front of us.
They work in this building here.
Yeah, I mean, look at the shabbiness. I mean, the gherkin's bad. I've been in there. It's not that bad.
I only went in there for the restaurant. You know where you
high up.
We're not too many people can see we're all the same.
Go for a second. Oh, he just wants to be left alone. He was thinking about like deep levels of culture. You know, he was considering great artifacts from the classical period of sculpture. You know, he was thinking, you know, who was the greatest Greek sculptor of all time, and now he was going to have that thought process ruined by this person he wants to talk about what did you do last week, or what have you bought for Christmas this year?
He's just dreaming of the Roman Empire or something.
Exactly.
But, it's an odd advert. And by the way, if you listen to the lyrics, if you listen to George Harrison's boomer vocals, by the way,
what is it? Yeah,
it is truly back to Fresh Prince. Listen to the words. The words.
You can see we're all the same.
You can see we're all the same.
Yeah, this is true. This is
it's
very
colorblind
very
messaging. It's colorblind messaging. I'm telling you, this is back to Fresh Prince 101 right here. I'm gonna download this and send it to Aaron after this stream is over. I need points in the Cigar Rumble. Sorry. Can I just say, by the way, even though that looks like it's depressing, it's actually amazing. Can you imagine having lunch there?
I mean, I think it's a different office, because that first scene was awful. That first office thing was terrible. Well, that lunch place is very nice. You go back to their first office place. It's like 10 seconds in or something. Yeah, no, a bit further on, maybe about a minute.
Here.
Oh, maybe it is the same office then. Okay, you're right. Okay, it's just they covered up the window so you couldn't see it. But yeah, you're right.
Well, maybe it's a different room. This is the office.
It's
There's dining room.
The windows are the same. But they covered it up so you couldn't see the view. Also, going to say, didn't ask. Can I sit here? Just sat down, started eating in there.
We're all the same.
How's it going?
There you go.
That's
Tim Cook is leading by example by putting the woke away. Pharaoh.
No, okay. 1 second. Well, you were wrong about the dog, though.
Yeah, she didn't get him a dog.
But what did she actually do, though? She just stopped hurting him in the animation.
She may have given him the figures. Maybe. Do we get to see
no, we don't know. You don't know that at all. All that she's done is just stopped abusing his homunculus at home. That's all she done.
Does he open the advert? Does he open the present?
There's no present. She didn't actually give him anything. Note.
She does give him a present.
Go on.
Look, she's got a gift for him. Look. That is the little
lunch.
I thought it was a present.
Let's have a
No, you're right. It's a lunch in a Tupperware box.
Yeah, she hasn't actually done anything for him. She just stopped being dangerous.
She's just stopped being nasty. All you have to do to win this guy over is just stop being nasty. You don't even have to do anything. See, I'm telling you, this is putting the woke away, the advert. Unless she's going to marry him or something. I doubt that's going to happen. So
I think the ask is too much, though. Still.
Okay.
I mean, the quality of the advert was good, though. I thought it was.
This is clearly the ad of the year so far, by the way.
Yeah.
Clearly, just head and shoulders above the others. And it's an anti-woke ad. It's a subtly anti-woke ad, I would say.
But I still think it's what's the narrative and what was asked of her, and it was just to not hate someone. It wasn't to be positive or to bring Christmas cheer, etc., etc.
It was it was to have empathy for her old white boss, basically.
But it's not even empathy. It was just not treat him evilly. Just have a civilized conversation. That's all we're asking here. Is just to have please have a civilized conversation.
It was very Fresh Prince. Very Fresh Prince. Okay. That'll be coming in a tweet near you soon. Let's carry on. This is Dior, Garden of Dreams. How are we doing on time, by the way, Farah?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, okay. So this is Dior.
Deep in every heart slumbers a dream. Now then, what is that phrase you use? Once upon a time.
Oh, it's that alien face girl. I
Yeah,
forget
that's
her
why.
name now.
That's
Yeah.
why I put it in, because quite a few people like the alien girl.
She also did very badly in Who Did You Do, by the
Really,
way.
really,
Yeah.
okay.
Very badly, yeah. Oh, we were doing all right. We were doing all right. And then, oh, 39 seconds is how long it lasted. We were doing all right. It's already over. It's already over. This is basically just like blacked.com, the advert, from 39 seconds onwards.
Make a wish. A Dior holiday story.
Could have been a good advert, Arrow, but it was completely ruined.
Well, it's interesting because this kind of I would say that perfumes and fragrance is the one area where they're allowed to be more creative and to be more free than other areas. So you can do kind of like weirder stuff. Like if you see the beginning, it's kind of implied that, you know, there's this kind of French Renaissance garden that she's roaming around. You've got this kind of freezing magical moment, etc. So it's kind of like a place of discovery. Like again, I quite like the first 30 seconds, and then it's almost like she's going through the maze, and then just sort of discovering like a carousel of life or something like that. And then you know, the carousel's what she's kind of presented to live.
All right, let's continue. So we've got Coca-Cola now, bringing out the big boys. It's Coca-Cola. This is called Discover the Dashing Delight with Coca-Cola's Festive Magic.
Well, I found this one. This was like this is an Indian Coca-Cola advert, which they were having as their kind of festive one. But I don't know the context of it at all. But this just amused me. Yeah.
सबैभन्दा पहिला चाहिने सबै सामग्री जम्मा गर अनि एकै ठाउँमा मिसाऊ तर कुनै कुनै सामग्रीहरू सुरुमा मिल्न झिँजो मान्न सक्छन् तर चिन्ता नदेऊ समय देऊ जस्तै अप्ठ्यारा सामानहरू पनि मिल्दै जान्छन् माया विश्वास र थोरै बालापनको साथ म्याजिक ल्याउनलाई
I mean, I suppose it's interesting in so much, Pharaoh, as it shows how they market to a different demographic. Whole family is together, no diversity whatsoever. Traditions are intact, family is intact, patriarch is intact. All completely fine, because Coca-Cola are not marketing to white people. Yeah.
Also, this is their Christmas adverts, but obviously, you know, this is targeted to this specific demographic, so there's no actual Christmas whatsoever, but they still felt the need to have some kind of festive celebration. So again, they're kind of tying it into another space. But the actual narrative is you've obviously got this kind of traditional family living at home, and then look who arrives back home, you know. If you go back a bit, it's the brother basically. It's the uncle. I'm going to take a name out of the air and say like Uncle Rishi, for example. He's just returned home from his time abroad, but obviously, you know, he's dressed in a different way. You know, he's dressed in a kind of a suit and jacket. If you play there a second, no, there's like a face where the brother just gets like scowls. Yeah, when he first arrives, look, his brother. This is look here. He's not happy. He's dressed like Tony Blair. Not in everywhere else.
Unhappy that non-trad brother. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But then it's through the power of the Coca-Cola that the family comes together.
तर कुनै कुनै सामग्रीहरू सुरुमा मिल्न झिँजो मान्न सक्छन् तर चिन्ता नलिऊ समय देऊ जस्तै अप्ठ्यारा सामानहरू पनि मिल्दै जान्छन् माया विश्वास र थोरै बालापनको साथ म्याजिक ल्याउनलाई सबैभन्दा ठूलो कुरा नै एक अर्काको
They're a rather light-skinned Indian family, aren't they?
Well, I mean, they yeah, you're right, but they place preference on that, don't they? So
interesting. Okay, so
but yeah, so it's technically a Christmas advert because it's released as part of their festivities. But
so let's carry on. Here is the Cadbury's coins billboard. Only 15 seconds for this one.
Well, it's like a short, really, but yeah.
Not bad.
I know. I just found like this offensively garish. I mean, you've like look at there. You've like lost any kind of message whatsoever. It's just like a gigantic lights on the side, and then coins are back is like the worst tagline ever.
One point I've got to make about the chocolate coins, because people are always giving AAA the chocolate coins, and she always gratefully receives them and has them. And I remember being given chocolate coins as a kid as well. But does anyone in their heart of hearts truly like them? I've never been that keen on them.
Really, I don't mind them so much. I don't mind.
I mean, they're all right, but I don't love them or anything. But they always seem to be harking back to something that I didn't know. Like, what are they harking back to? When did the chocolate coin thing start? What's the idea of it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Maybe Victorian times.
Yeah, people definitely got me them a lot when I was a kid. So we're on to Tesco's, and it's become more Christmas. And Pharaoh, there's a promising start because we have a possible father-son relationship.
Exactly. I think this is another one for your pile.
And we haven't seen many father-son relationships in the history of this stream, in the history of doing the Christmas ads. So.
Hey, I'm back. I only went in for milk. Look what I've got. Mince pies. I know it's a bit early, but there's...
Now, one of the questions I've got, Pharaoh, is Tesco's must know that a lot of their customers are, what do they call it? You know how they do the socioeconomic groups?
Yeah, it'd be C2Ds.
C2Ds, right? And I just wonder if they deliberately target, because basically the entirety of ITV,
yes,
ITV1,
that's a good analogy. Yeah,
I mean, this is basically for Dinos, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right, but it's interesting. This is the first time in a long time that they've gone for this. They've explicitly targeted this demographic.
So good.
People are pointing out that he may be broccoli hair.
I mean, this is 100% Zima physiognomy.
Sweet singers in the front, cruising down the freeway.
Marshmallow snowman cheesecake.
Suddenly, blue lights flash us from behind. Loud voice booming, please step out onto the line. How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Hey.
Ooh, baby.
It's making me crazy. It's making me...
Can I just say this is one of the worst adverts I've ever seen?
You don't like it?
Woeful, the advert. Also, I did note that when it broke out into the party setting, this has become a trope, by the way,
Yeah.
in these adverts.
This is the new thing, yeah.
There's a big party, and in the party, we fleetingly see a black woman.
Cheesecake suddenly.
But again, this is the London audience is in these kind of wider shots, which is interesting. So again, I think for the core stories, we're going to see a return to core demographics, where they're having to play by who's actually buying the products. But then in the wide shots where they need extras, etc., the creatives can do what they like in the actual.
But what I'm saying is, in a lot of these ads, and this has been a trope that I've seen growing since we've been doing these, they love this idea of the very busy party where these sorts of scenes go on. Now, in my life, Pharaoh, these parties don't happen. I don't have any parties where there are this many people going around. Do you have any of those sorts of parties?
Well, when I was at a large agency, we would have pretty big office parties, but they would usually just be quite riotous affairs where you would hire out an entire space, and there'd just be lots of drinking. So,
yeah, but I mean that's an office party. This is a domestic party.
You think so?
Now, what I'm saying is that this seems to be an invention purely of these adverts. I just don't know anyone who has huge parties in their house with dozens of people who go.
Yeah.
Dozens of diverse people come to their house and party. Doesn't happen. I'm calling BS.
Flash us from behind. Loud voice, pull me, please. Step out onto the line. How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre.
Hey!
Ooh, baby.
Thank you. Baby. It's making me crazy. It's making me crazy. Every time I look around. Every time I look around. Every time I look around. Every time I look.
So the story of this video is that as a kind of Zoomer, he doesn't want to get into the Christmas spirit, but he's against his will. He's almost getting into it and turning into a tree.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, exactly. It's interesting, but interesting how they've picked up on the Zoomanalism. You know, the desire not to associate with anything, to be totally independent from all things. You know how you mentioned about it being like a bit of an act as well, how they pretend not to know things that are obvious, you know, like, oh yeah, I've never heard Queen before or something like that. I think it's a similar... I wonder whether one of the generational like archetypes are the desire to seem like you're a nihilist, even if you necessarily aren't. And so I think they've hit the nail on the head with that kind of younger generation a little bit here.
Well, I knew that very well from my own generation, because it was when I was a kid, a teenager, it was the cool thing not to care, to adopt a kind of whatever, never mind kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind
of a similar thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the transformation process is horrific, though. I find the Snow Woman in particular to be like, that's a nightmare fuel.
This is one of the worst adverts ever. So.
That's
brilliant.
Also, he's listening to How Bizarre. I wonder how many Zoomers know the song How Bizarre. I don't know.
But it's the dads. It's literally whatever Gen X dads now. That's again, there's an important soundscaping which goes on where they'll try and match music to their target audience. So what you're hearing here is like a 90s classic. So if you were born in the 70s, you would have been in your formative years in the 90s, and you probably would have a kid who's old enough there. So it's I would say 45 to 50-year-old men who they're trying to target here, really. You're muted, eh?
Seen us feel right on. making moves and starting grooves before they knew we were gone.
It is kind of a horrific idea that you slowly turn into a nutcracker or a Christmas tree or a bauble or a snow woman or a snowman. It's kind of horrible idea.
A lot of it's through consumption as well. You know, if you saw what were the triggering moments, it was like eating a mince pie or buying a certain thing. So it's an interesting idea of what is Christmas about, and ideas of the Christmas, the Christmas spirit being, because there's this whole thing about our modern Christmas is sort of descended from Dickens, who through the Christmas Carol created a secular form of Christianity, but then it's kind of been further taken away from religion even more, where the transformational process is created by the consumption of goods.
Horrid. So some people in the chat seem to like this. I think it's just absolutely woeful of it.
Club card accepted.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Merry Christmas.
So he was brought into the Christmas spirit by his own narcissism, Pharaoh, by his own memory of making his own star. So he managed to get back there through complete self-interest, and that's
brilliant.
I hated it. I hated every second of it.
I don't think it's that bad.
It's not. It wasn't woke though. Well, so we can say it was a non-woke.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's definitely true. And like I said, if you compare some of the Tesco's ones from previous years, it's a definite change in direction.
And it was a father-son relationship, and pivotally a white father-son relationship.
Which is
it was less subversive.
That's the first time ever. Yeah.
So there we go. So let's carry on. So this is Temptations. Cats Lose Their Cool Holiday Special.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Armstrong sisters.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be calling. La 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 la. Don't how our gay apparel. La 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 la. Troll ancient Yuletide carol. There's a cat. La 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 la. La 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 la. Can you sing? La la la. He's on the piano. La 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 la.
Is your cat too cool for the holidays? Gift him Temptations Creamy Puree.
Any thoughts?
I thought it was funny because it's just how bad it was. I thought it was just pretty terrible.
Although it's a neat way to have an all-white cast to go back to the 70s, isn't it?
That's true, actually, and there's been a few a bit of 70s revivalism this year, I would say. Again, I think this is just leaning into cats are funny. This is millennial thinking again. I hate to say this. This is millennials who saw cat videos go viral in the early noughties, enforcing their ideas, saying, "Oh, you know what will be funny is the cat playing piano."
Two white women, all white audience. Just saying.
Yeah, also true.
I mean, they had to go back to the 70s to do it, but this is 3 or 4 non-white woke ads in a row now.
Yeah, it's true. Also, to be fair, the audience is kind of 30+ woman, middle class who can afford a cat. So
what is Temptations anyway?
It's like a cat food thing. but in a tube.
Oh, so they were actually selling cat food.
Yeah, so you're selling cat food as well. So.
I see. Okay. Is this our first emergence of on the card, Pharaoh? On the card, black man with statistically improbable house wearing jumper. Is this our first?
Well, let's see. We didn't know.
Jumper, improbable house.
Jumper.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh. What's going on here?
I think we're alone now. It doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now.
By the way, gay coded.
I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now.
You know what all of these people need, don't you?
Oh dear, that pause, that child. Oh my God.
What do all of these people need, Pharaoh? They require a lodge. That's what they need.
No,
they wouldn't need to take these moments out. They'd have,
they need to buck up. Hold on a second. Let's just watch the advert and I'll go through. Okay, so the story is you're going to see this kind of busy party at home. The owner, you're right in saying he was the owner, so that is properly ticked off now. He just can't take the busyness of the party, and then has to retire to a secluded part of the house, where he takes in the low quality IKEA products that he's amassed in his house, and that gives him like some kind of solace, and he's rejuvenated. And so, yeah, you can see a variety of people. I mean, this is an unbelievably pathetic advert in so many different ways. Firstly, it's the kind of, the "I'm tired" meme.
Yes,
I'm tired. This is "I'm tired," the advert basically. Also, like I get that it's difficult hosting people, but I don't know. Have you ever had that moment where you need to? If it's going to be anyone, it's got to be you who've had that moment where you need to kind of run away from everyone else to hide in a closet somewhere.
I have at least once before now gone and sat in the car during a wedding.
Really?
Just to get away from people. Oh, it's just too long. It's just like 10 hours of making chat with people. So I actually relate to this advert a lot because I require timeouts quite regularly.
This advert is literally for you, basically. But I think most people don't. Most extroverts certainly. I mean, I would never take a rest like this. And it's just kind of like, well, what's the real story? It's like
you don't really want to see people.
Yeah, well, what's the tagline again? It just feels a bit straight. Like I don't really get.
Take a holiday from the holidays.
But you're not really. You're just taking 5 seconds by yourself, and how does that tie into product? It's very laboured, and I think a very weak message overall.
It's incredibly rare to have an advert targeted specifically at introverts, though. I will say that. I've never seen an introvert.
Do you feel seen right now? This is like finally they've got through this stack and they finally got through to introverts.
I mean, this is the only introvert directed ad I've ever seen, I think, who truly understands. I mean, whether I do.
Can we get a photo of you at the lodge, just sitting on the bed like that?
Well, why do I even have the lodge?
True.
Right. I mean, so there we are.
That child literally looks like, like 1940s vampires. He's got that kind of like Hammer horror vampire makeup, like eyebrows and hair.
Bela Lugosi, yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's carry on. So this is KFC. We saw McDonald's, we saw Burger King. Burger King had a terrible advert. Now here is KFC. Do you think there's somebody at Burger King watching this ad being like, shit, I knew we shouldn't have gone with the sat-nav singer?
It was awful. That was literally let's check the view count on this one. Can we just check the view count?
It's unlisted.
Oh.
It's unlisted. Yeah. Oh. Do you know? If I was KFC, I would not draw attention to my deep fat fryer. Look at this.
It's just like horrible.
Oh my god!
Marcus is probably convulsing at the seed oil spectacle in front of him.
You do not want to be reminded of the frying oil when you go to KFC. You know.
Oh.
Is that a subtle dig at the idea of having like vegan chicken or?
I mean, it's interesting. The story is you can see this. This is obviously their kind of experimental chef. He's trying out new stuff, and then he's been surrounded by these manifested Twitter messages.
KFC should have turkey on the menu for Christmas. Okay. KFC, when you're going to do turkey at Christmas? Kentucky Fried Turkey. This is basically what my Twitter feed is like, by the way.
It is, yeah.
You know, just being incessantly like, you know, I mean, okay, you can change the messages for other things, but it's basically this. They might as well all be when you're going to do Kentucky Fried Turkey. So.
Also,
all right, so...
notice the Zoomer one there. Turkey prayer, crazy face. Look at just in front of you, floating above the deep.
Oh yeah, there.
Turkey, please.
Zoomer Tempted to make that the front cover.
Just can you change the name? Just turn it to emojis for it. No words whatsoever.
All right. Okay. Yeah. It was better than the. I prefer that. Okay. It was better than the Burger King ad and better than the McDonald's ad was awful as well. The KFC are winning the fast food wars.
I mean, at least it's kind of shocking and quite funny because I thought they were going to go for a different way, and they're just kind of like, no, we're doing this. So it's kind of Chad face.
Also, I like this. I like We Ignored You.
Yeah,
that is my favorite. We don't care what you say.
Yeah, this is a good meme. We should just be posting that.
Okay.
We ignored you. We saw you and we ignored you.
Get ready for some urban
news. Oh, here we go. Can I just say, I was disappointed. I did a specific check to see if Chunks was featured in any videos this year, and unfortunately, he has not been picked up. So, you know.
No Chunks bursting through Harry Redknapp's wall this year.
No, although this is a definite Somalian phenotype. So again, this is appealing to London
youth. These are like your typical Mizzy fans.
Exactly. I mean, it could be, yeah.
You deliver flowers for a living. Kids nowadays, eh? Look.
Sorry. Can we pause a second?
Yeah.
That conversation. It sounds like Zuma's like trying to understand a delivery driver or like a florist. Listen to their conversation a second. This is them discussing what a florist is.
You deliver flowers for a living.
Yeah.
This is them trying to understand basic jobs.
Kids nowadays, eh? Look.
I mean, that is accurate. And also, like, he told him to shut up.
Wake up, man.
I love, by the way, how JD just lean into it. They're just like, fuck it.
Because they know what their audience is. This is their audience, and
we're all in on this.
Yep.
Youth. I mean, there's even like a kind of, this guy is drug dealer coded. Why is this dude hanging out by a wall? Why is he hanging out by a wall?
With a £20,000 gold chain.
Drug dealer coded. Whore coded. Whore coded. Oh my god! Here is actual representation of the Edgware Road crew. Look,
this is it. I mean, you should see some of the stats on this, specifically for some Somalians in inner city London. It's very interesting. I think someone has to share them in chat. I think, but it's a very high percentage.
Can you imagine going back to Victorian England or even the 1950s and saying, like, in 2023 a Christmas advert would look like this?
If you go back to the hallway, this is definitely a period property as well. Look at that. That's a Victorian entranceway for sure.
Victorian entranceway. Yeah.
This is probably one of those Chelsea houses you mentioned.
But got through social housing clearly.
Yeah.
I want to meet people around me that I love.
Oh, fucking hell.
I want to be traveling.
Every time my parents are like independent, I got to rely on one of them. He's gonna be chatting right like me, captain. I keep reading
JD are like, just fuck it. We're just gonna go all in. Or we are like fucking grime or whatever, We are street, man, and we're just gonna go for it. Full, like, kind of, you can smell the weed. It's all in.
Hold a second.
Yeah.
That man does not own that horse.
I've just realised he's on a horse.
Where did he acquire that horse from?
Oh my god. Oh, it's hideous. This is agony.
Watch this. I'm in.
Oh, so depressed. And the thing is that I reckon that's probably one of the most realistic.
100%.
One of the most realistic ads we've seen.
Exactly, and to be fair, I think 100% targeting who they're targeting. They know their audience really well. They know what their lifestyle. I think in terms of like accuracy and efficiency of it, I think it's got to be 9 out of 10 for me.
I mean, there's a really interesting thing here, because when we go to the household with the Somali dad or whatever, we see that this woman here and these kind of trad looking types live under the same, who like kissing his hand like the Godfather, look. All right, but they share the same roof as the urban youth, the urban youths. They are under the same roof, and presumably that's representative. Presumably that is like accurate in some way.
Well, again, look at this. Look, go back to that street. Okay, so that's that thing in the background is an old Victorian gas tower. So you have them around London. They were used to kind of store natural gas when it first came in. But like, look at those period property rows. They've literally got hedges at the front. If you were to buy one of those, a terraced house in Central, you're looking at maybe 800,000. So, yeah, does it make sense?
There's also a moment of this, by the way, where the pure face of this guy here, this man here, who I believe is a white man, the pure Tim Westfordification, the Evela's like final devolution that Evela predicted is here. Look at this guy. It's completely taken over with the
his soul,
primal
spirit,
rhythms.
Yeah,
spiritually replaced within his
know,
own heart.
You know what happened at the age of 12? He listened to jazz music.
Exactly,
and it went downhill from there.
Slippery slope is real, friends. So yeah, that was a really depressing advert, but I would agree. Apart from the Apple anti-woke ad, I reckon this is the next best ad that we've seen, because due to its verisimilitude. How do you like that word?
Very good.
So let's get it. It's Walker's Crisps.
Sorry. People saying this isn't a Christmas ad. It is. Look at the title for it. This is what they've done for Christmas. But I think
Sports Christmas ad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that this is the Christmas of Central London or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
And it was it had 8 million views. That advert has had.
Because they know their audience, and it's very popular.
8 million views,
which is about the size of inner city London, isn't it?
Shall I see if there's any online chatter about this on JD Sports?
Just do a search for JD Sports Christmas ad.
JD Sports
on Twitter, and you'll see some reactions.
Let's see if there's reactions. Just seen the JD Sports Christmas ad. Right, I'll just share what I'm looking at. Mick said that was 3 years ago though.
Oh,
let's go latest. No,
maybe it's
solid revisions yesterday. Solid revisions yesterday with year 13. So this is a teacher. Today, looking at Unit 1, LO3 representation, the JD Sports 2023 Christmas ads, very rich for discussion and examples. Also links to Compton Cowboys and Idris Elba's Fletcher Street based concrete cowboy on Netflix. Great links. CSS Media and Film Studies. That's a teacher.
So it's literally being held up as an example of this is what it should be about.
Good representation or something. Amid a sea-flood of fanciful, often far-fetched Christmas campaigns, JD Sports ad instantly stood out for its relatability, centered around the retailer's iconic duffel bag. The Drum interviewed the creatives behind our Christmas spot for JD Sports. Christmas is not just for supermarkets when it comes to ads. What do you think of this year's JD Sports campaign? So just saying, is this how far we've fallen? Says Dave. This is unrecognizable. Dave, you are based. Okay. All right. So let's see. It's definitely, I would say, in my award so far, Apple is winning, but that's coming second.
Yeah, I think that's about right. The production quality was very good as well, and I think like I said, they just know they knew the audience very well. So
truly Ashes, though, isn't it? Truly Ashes. Truly Ashes. All right, let's go. This is Walker's.
Christmas, a time for sharing.
This Christmas will be the best.
Some things a little trickier than others.
Best time of the year.
Walker's
Oh
Crisps
no,
on the
no!
Love that is spoken
Made for
with
it.
every word and good tidings of cheer.
Walker's, actually made for sharing.
Hideous advert.
no, well, it's genius. It's on so many levels. I hate this on so many levels. Right, so it starts off. So you've got this kind of meeting of two different peoples, and initially I thought, this is the perfect wine art archetype right there. Look at her. She's wall has been hit, faded eyes. The blonde's coming out of her hair. She is alone and sad and miserable. And look, then she ends up in a fight with a guy over a Christmas tree. Right, I thought this was a Love Actually style kind of like fight over the Christmas tree and then fall in love kind of thing. But the twist is he's gay at the end.
Yes.
So it's not even that.
Christmas will be the best.
Some things a little tricky.
I mean, I don't know what's going on here. This is
All black family, right? I like his thin Lou Bega moustache. Lou Bega.
Yeah, than others.
Best time of the year.
What's this?
I mean, this is obviously a gay interracial couple.
This is just absolutely hideous. I disavow this. I disavow this moment right here.
This
is Crisps.
This is Time Stealer trying to butter up the father-in-law with some crisps, maybe.
Maybe it's a straight interaction, and they're being playful in the old-fashioned sense. Fair enough.
Yeah. The hand.
Love that is spoken
made for it.
Every word and good tidings of cheer.
Gay arrived with his boyfriend.
Just look at the smile there on the left, though. That is so gay coded. That's a gay coded smile. I'm sorry. That's
Gay coded, and also possibly like their roles within the relationship are coded as well. He's taller. Check the lines, vertical, slightly diagonal.
Because I thought it was this Love Actually falling in love, but then she actually has a family. I don't know if you can see at the back. Go back a little bit, just like a couple of seconds. There you go. You can see her family too, because look, the dad is just this again, just like worn down,
faded into the. He's actually faded.
You can tell that she just like drags him every single day. She just henpecks him into nothing. He's just like a background figure in their lives, totally worn down.
Ever see that Woody Allen film where the guy is faded? He's lost focus, and the actual face is faded. This is this guy. His face is faded from the world. He's also slyly Jeff Taylor coded. I bet he voted for Brexit as well. So let's carry on.
Walker's, actually made for sharing.
So you're saying that the subtext of that is that she was thinking of cheating on her husband with him?
No. I thought it was going to be this Return to Love Actually style. You know how they have these kind of like two figures that hate each other and they fall in love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, she was just an absolute Karen who wanted that Christmas tree. So I thought it was just funny how this advert is like full woke still. You've got the 100%. Well, it must be like 50% diversity in it, plus number of people recognition, and the wine art thing. Even though she has a family, you can tell that she's just like the worst.
Now, do we think that Walkers are behind the curve? So that I
think so. This feels
there's
like
that typical graph.
Yeah.
There's the laggards. There's the early adopters. Apple clearly on the cutting edge, putting the woke away, cutting edge, visionary, right? Walkers, not that big a brand, I guess. I mean, they're big in the UK, but they're a little bit behind the curve.
Also, it's interesting that obviously Apple would have been done in like there's much more US influence. So especially because I've been to their offices as well. It's sort of tucked away just off Regent Street, and they take a much stronger direction from the US than other companies. Like Walker's is really a UK brand. You'll know it as Lay's in America, but it still has like a UK centered management structure, while Apple is a much more US focused. So I wonder whether it's kind of like the provinces haven't received their imperial edicts just yet.
All right, so this is Peta's 2023 ad. Now, were Peta responsible, Pharaoh, for that gay Santa ad that we watched a couple of years back?
No.
I seem to remember Peta were responsible for
maybe
one of the hideous adverts that we watched before.
Okay.
I can't remember which one, but let's see. Walker's is based in Leicester, I happen to know. So
okay.
But I think they were bought out by a bigger company at some point, as all brands were.
Yeah, I mean, they got Unilever, didn't they? So.
Yeah.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. Trees indoors, how very jolly, fa la 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 la. Some traditions sure are weird, fa la 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 la. Letters sent to men with beards, fa la 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 la.
Sorry, can you just stop a second?
Bonnie Spriggs.
Yeah.
Right, so obviously it's like a comedy song based on a classic. I mean, they chose the most grating, horrific northern voice for the singer, which immediately just feels like nails dragging against the chalkboard for me. But and obviously you can tell where this is going. This is about kind of saying that look how stupid our traditions of the past are. Maybe consider a nut roast rather than a delicious turkey for Christmas. I mean, obviously more moronic, but I just think that the writing for this is just literally a child could do better in terms of the kind of the writing and the poetry of the song. It's just zero effort, zero artistry in it. But anyway, carry on.
The singer is literally Jane Horrocks, by the way. It says featuring Jane Horrocks, so that's where the northern voice comes from, I think.
Help you to get kissed, fa la 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 la, mwah, mwah, mwah. Else decide who's on the good list, fa la 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 la, Does it need setting up list, fa la 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 la? How did that become a craze?
Sorry, can we pause there?
Season.
I just love the architecture of that factory. I think there's something deco about it. I mean, that's the best thing about this advert so far is this kind of like futurist turkey execution zone. I mean,
it's straight out of Batman, the animated series.
Yeah, there's something like that. I think that's really cool. I would love to live in a city that has that kind of architecture.
Season of goodwill's the motto. La 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 la. You're not Santa. What's this grotto? What's the fate that now awaits me? A tradition of such cruelty.
Yes. Oh. Yes. Zapper.
Kill the tradition, not the turkey. Fucking awful. Try vegan this Christmas.
No, I don't think I will.
Terrible advert.
I mean, literally, the writing on that is just so bad. Especially like some of the last lines. Like, is it a single creative person in the entire of Peta that can come up with like a couple of couplets? It's really not that hard. That all the syllables are out. There's like constant half rhymes. Literally no artistry. It was one of the worst. Do you know what I'm saying? You can do a good parody song that would have been quite funny, but it was just terrible. And then the singer makes it even worse.
I'm being very distracted by the suggestions on the side. Why the Jews are hated, featuring Thomas Sowell.
Thank you, YouTube algorithm. I wonder. Oh, just normal. It's just normal algorithm, just there.
Weird. Okay, so let's carry on. So this is the John Lewis one. Now, usually the John Lewis Christmas ad is quite a big deal. Is that right, Pharaoh? It's quite kind of.
I mean, they used to dominate again, like 3 years ago. They sort of created the Christmas ad trend. But I would say that for the last couple of years, everyone has known that the John Lewis ad has fallen off. It's been pretty bad. So, yeah, they were associated with the iconic Christmas ad, but they're a victim of their own success. There's something interesting there where whenever you have a successful advert, you either have to continue that advert in perpetuity, for example, the Meerkat thing or the Go Compare guy. Because of the success of the initial advert, they just had to run with it for decades and decades. Or you end up using the same creative agency, and sometimes that agency like struck lightning once, captured lightning in the bottle, but then can't recreate it. And that's what basically happened with John Lewis. It's the same advertising company each time. Now, I would say that John Lewis and partners, interestingly, they sort of have recently de-wokeified themselves. They brought in a very strange pick for a CEO, and then removed her recently after some of the greatest level of underperformance that the business has ever seen. So let's just see what happens. I do feel like that they had this kind of woke pick for.
Now, if this John, because I would consider John Lewis to be on the cutting edge of trends, not on the lagging end, right? So if the trend is going anti-woke, I would expect John Lewis's advert not to be woke. Do you think that's a good call? If John Lewis's ad is woke, it's a bad sign for my bet.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
It looks like they're in Portobello Road. So let's see. Streets where the riches and ages are stowed.
Not anymore. It's more like that. It's more like urban youth asking what a florist does. That's what's Portobello nowadays.
Last time I was in Portobello Road, I went to the Electric Diner and had a burger.
Gran, can I have this?
Oh my God! Look!
La vita è una festa. 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 Sì. La vita è una festa, la vita è una festa, la vita è una festa.
So,
yeah, maybe we'll start off. So you see a grandchild and grandparent. This is quite a good shot with the family there a second, because just to explain the family structure, it's the grandma on the left, the mum in the middle, and then two kids. Obviously, the most striking thing is no father. The child, when shopping with the grandparents, picks up a magical seed, which then grows into Little Shop of Horrors plant, which through the Christmas period continues to grow, and then eventually becomes too big, and so they put it outside. So there is an interesting reading here, which is this is a family without a male role model, and notice it's the son, not the daughter here. That the son is looking for a substitute for that, and it is literally an alien creature, the external that fills in that space. But the alien does not understand the rules of the house. The alien eats up stuff and causes problems, and literally gets booted out the house because the alien doesn't fit in with the traditions that were already there. And so they eventually kick it out, but then they sort of take pity on the monstrous creature that they've created. So there's an interesting reading there where maybe substitute the alien for something else, someone else in their family who became a father figure, but ultimately due to his unruly behavior got booted out of the house. I mean, that is a reading of it. But I absolutely hate this advert. I think it's just like, what is it? Let your traditions grow, like let alien plants grow with abandon in your backyard. Like, what kind of tradition is that?
I mean, this plant is the JD Sports advert, isn't it? The plant, metaphorically, is the culture of the JD Sports advert.
That's true. Yeah,
it's the whole. You could say it's woke, but it's the whole mess of modern Britain. Is the
exactly.
Is the alien plant?
A personification of modernity that is just unruly and wrecks things and just doesn't fit in and has to be cast out of the house. But even still, it's been cast out. The mother and the other women take pity on it and celebrates. And what we're asked to do is let your traditions grow. This is kind of like, don't worry about the past. Just accommodate the unruly and the uncivilized because reasons. In my opinion, this is a woke ad, even though it has a totally white family as part of it. So.
Well, I mean, in terms of our bingo card, it only ticks one box. No man in ad at all.
I know, but what's the story? What's the message behind it? It's like, accommodate the alien is what it's saying.
Well, I mean,
let your traditions grow. Let your traditions grow.
Is there a way to save it? Is there a way to save it? I mean, the point is about the plant is that it's his. He made it. He made it grow. So that, like, I mean, I'm just trying to like read it a different way. It's his. He made it. So therefore, it's something that he can call his own, even though it's a rabid, unruly.
Maybe that's it. It's just going to like accommodate the Zoomers' unruliness. I don't know. I think it's either way. I think it's a weak message. It's not like this. Again, it's just like Little Shop of Horrors rip off. There's just nothing to this advert.
It wasn't overtly woke though. This was subliminally woke.
Yeah. I think
it's not like smack you in the face. It's kind of back to the subtle messaging of the Back to Fresh Prince era.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, but I think certainly it's not the same as the Apple one, which is a definite kind of like let's all be friends.
Also,
this is accommodation. This is accommodation.
His sister / brother is ambiguously androgynous, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Non-binary sister.
Non-binary.
This is kind of like got cool grand vibes as well, I would say as well. She's kind of dressed.
She's not. Oh, come on. She's not.
No. Hold on a second. She's got like go to the last shot again. Like, what clothes is she wearing? Like, she's wearing a huge designer scarf, like a big coat. They've really dressed her up, I would say. This is
just kind of or whatever. So what's that bloody shop that they all go to? What's that? Hobbs. What's it called? That bloody shop? I forget.
Yeah, I mean, there's Hobbs, but this will all be John Lewis stuff, and that's why they're kind of dressing her up to appeal to that kind of like boomer audience.
Can I just say, by the way, that do you see this face here? Do you see that?
Yeah.
That is a face that only leftists make. That face there
Just
is leftist coded. I can't really describe.
she's just happy she's accommodating the alien. She's so happy that the alien can be part of the family.
She voted Corbyn, this girl. Yeah. Based Corbyn. Okay. Okay, so I reckon we've got time for like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
I reckon the Amazon ad we should do, because Amazon's a big brand.
Do it.
I reckon Asda, just to get another. And then we got a choice of like Muji, Boots, Heathrow Airport, Vodafone.
Yeah, not the Muji. The Heathrow's good. Well, not good, I should say. What was the other one?
Boots, Vodafone.
Oh, we need to do the M&S one as well. Maybe the M&S one was the one that got booted. I'll see if I can find it in the meantime. We need to see that one.
Okay, so we'll go with this is Amazon, who's another big brand, who I would consider to be on the cutting edge. So if this is a woke ad, things won't be going well for me. But I reckon the indicators are all anti-woke in my view this year. Doing so well. 41 seconds. We were doing well, but 41 seconds in, and there he is. Tyrone makes his first appearance. Have you noticed the music is a slow down in my life by the Beatles, by the way?
Yeah, exactly.
Only the massive brands get to use Beatles. Apple, Amazon, Beatles exclusives.
Yeah.
I would say on the old bingo card, only really got Cool Super Grand, didn't we?
Cool Super Grand, yeah. I think we're not fully there yet in terms of the Fresh Prince, but I think it's certainly
we're getting there, though, aren't we? We're getting there.
It's a definite look. Do you remember last time, which was that like African American ballerina in the estate? Do you remember that advert? No, but it was pretty woke.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
and like Nana's having fun, even if it's in a diverse background. Again, I think it's a real interesting trend we're seeing, which is main characters demographically correct, but then you've got this kind of subliminal extras which have been kind of wokeified, etc. That's the new game.
We did get the No Man in ad at all as well.
True. Well,
No
yeah.
Man. Okay. Oh.
Whoever, can we just see the bingo a second? We haven't seen the Sleeping Granddad.
No, Sleeping Granddad has not.
I mean, maybe he's just died. He's just died. He's just in the bin. The bin men has come and has emptied out the granddad.
Just no granddad. Basically, we've seen plenty of grannies, but no granddad so far. Apart from the one who, apart from Indian granddad who got sat like a man sat on his lap.
That's true.
Okay, Asda. Did you find Marks and Sparks, by the way?
Oh yeah, I've messaged it to you. Yeah.
Should we do Marks if you consider this important?
No, we should say that it's the last. This is the last one, I think.
All right. Let's do Asda then. Asda. Oh, Michael Bublé is going to make an appearance, yeah?
Yep.
Asda's chief quality officer is Michael Bublé.
Clean up on aisle 5. Isaiah.
Let's go. Products to approve.
Yes, I knew that. Hey, everybody. I hear someone tried to push mackerel for Christmas dinner again this year. Barry. But then I also heard that brown butter and spiced dark rum are this year's.
Did you know that Michael Bublé was American? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't. No.
I always assumed he was a British lad, but okay. By the way, they've given Michael Bublé Tom Hanks' job from Big. Just a FYI. That was
Okay,
Tom Hanks'
interesting.
job in Big, yeah. That's,
food flavor trend.
There's still loads to do, so bring Mr. Bublé your best.
Yes, and this place looks amazing. And that smells so good. Hey, big cheese.
Pick a fifth for the cheese board.
They're all so different. This one.
Good man.
I'm so talented.
This way.
Yeah. More bump in the rise.
You heard him? More bump.
So last year. Oh. Now we're talking.
Studded with chocolate.
I'm now interested. What was considered last year? Truffle and Parmesan is this year.
No. Yeah, that's just it this year. Yeah,
But
just the
maple is last year.
Yeah.
Is that actually true? Because I've noticed a lot of
probably
truffle and Parmesan around the place. Interesting.
I mean, truffle is such a meme. I'm sure John D will do a good rant about it, but I think, like,
I'm
there's an obsession with putting truffle into everything, even though it's unnecessary.
AAA to Pizza Express a few days ago because they do a very good £7.95 three-course meal for a little one, right? And they offered me dough balls in blankets, and they came smothered in Parmesan. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe that is the meme this year. For a while, it was that. What was it? That biscuit, that Bischoff biscuit, was everywhere. That was last year. This year, it's truffle, Parmesan.
Now we're talking.
Studded with chocolate and candied orange.
Well, jingle my bells. That's great. Wow. Those sequins really pop.
Quality control going well.
He just wants the very best.
Here you go, pal.
You all right?
I think I've just seen Michael Bublé.
Okay.
Off for the night, are you?
No. I'm just getting started. Walking in a winter wonderland.
I mean, my biggest question, I suppose, Pharaoh, is Michael Bublé a big enough star to carry this ad? That's my real question.
Well, yeah, but hold on a second. Who's the audience again? It's 40+ women and
daytime TV watchers.
Yeah, exactly. This is your ITV fans again. They absolutely love him. He's super popular. Does very well with. He has a strong Christmas association. I think this is the best pick in terms of celebrity out of all of the brands, because he's just instant. Like he does really indexes really well with the women, or mothers, I should say, who are making these decisions. Now, the advert itself, I think, is quite clever. You know, Bublé, or we call them Mickey Bubbles in our households. Mickey Bubbles going around, making sure that the quality's there, and then you're kind of showcasing the product. So I think as a core message and a core strategy, I think it's a really strong ad. But it is pretty woke at the same time. If you have a look through every single interaction, who are the people in charge? Right, here we go. Here's our first guy, Isaiah here.
But by the way, I have noticed that this rather portly coloured gentleman has become a thing. We've seen him a number of times. I mentioned this before. Yeah. He was Asian coded before, but actually we've seen a number of portly black men. Do you remember the guy on the bed earlier on? The IKEA guy?
You know what it is? It's to make them seem less dangerous. I swear, it's about
non-threatening fat.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. That's right. Well, yeah, exactly. That they're that they don't seem aggressive. They're just kind of jolly. So we've got that person. Let's go into the little group here. Let's get the wide shot a second of everyone inside here. I mean, look at this. This is a rogues gallery.
Asian. There's Ray Murasami. Look, and then
look at that woman soy facing in the background. Look, Bublé's here. Soy face.
I was about to say, I would imagine that the typical Asda staff look like this, but it's always dependent on where you are, of course.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And the trouble is that if you're in an area that's going to have quote unquote diverse staff, they'll all be.
Well, that's exactly.
It's either one or the other. It tends not to be like the mix that we see.
Yeah, exactly.
That I think is the real truth of it. This guy is very Jimmy Tarbuck coded. He's very kind of like he looks like an old DJ. That dude there. Who else do we see here?
To be fair, I forgot about ginger guy and also the based cheese guy. You know, let's just go to the cheese guy a second. Here he is. You can tell. You know, this guy's been here since the 60s. He's a long in the tooth. He's just put up with Asda's crap all of this time. You've seen everything across here, but he just loves cheese. He's just all about cheese, and I can do nothing but respect and salute this old boy here. This is the best representation of an old white guy we've ever seen on an advert, I think.
Do Asda have a particularly good cheese section? Is a question, because I do not associate them with having a good cheese section.
What does your father-in-law say about Asda's cheese? That's the real question.
Well, he'd never go. The only big place he'd get cheese from is Whole Foods. But even then, he'd prefer. I think
he buys cheese from Whole Foods, right?
No. The only one he'd actually go to is there, but he would tend towards getting it from a specialized cheese shop is where he'd tend to go.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, but if we look also again, I love the cook. Let's go to the cook quickly.
Whole Foods does have a pretty good cheese. If you ever walk in,
I'm not a Whole Foods fan. Anyway,
have you ever gone into their cheese room there?
Yeah, I've been around Whole Foods. Yeah. I think it's overrated. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's keep on. Just go a bit further on. There you go. You can see that. You see the staff there, and again, powerful black woman. Sorting out stuff. So again, this is what I'm saying about the main character seems to be like
reaction shot is given to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Shining coded guy. He looks like the dude from The Shining, Scatman Crothers or whatever.
Yeah.
And there they all are together.
So I think this is still a relatively woke ad in terms of who they've got involved, etc. But I think the premise behind it is like, it's more like it's diverse but not woke. If we need a new definition of this, this is kind of like passive woke. It's woke in its casting and its representation, but it's not woke in terms of its message.
I mean, remember in Back to Fresh Prince, the entire cast was black. Farrah.
That's true. That is true.
It's not simply about being represented; it's about the messaging. My main question really is like, I don't know. Maybe it's true. Do you think Bublé would get a genuine reaction like that in Asda? If Bublé walked through Asda, would people be like that?
No, go back to that wide shot again. I want to focus in on the woman sawing out. It's like about 30 seconds in. Go a bit further, get the wide shot. There you go. A bit further back a second.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah. That woman there. She was doing no, on the left hand side. Oh yeah, there we go. That's quite good as well. She was soy facing at the beginning.
Yeah.
If you go back a couple of seconds. Oh, maybe I can't. Maybe we can't find it. I'll find it later. But it's.
Do you think Bublé would elicit those sort of reactions in a real life?
I think so. Okay. I think so.
All right. I wouldn't recognize Bublé if he walked past me. It's the first time I've ever seen him, I reckon.
You need to ask Mrs. AA. That's the question.
How big is Bublé? All right.
Would you recognize Bublé if you walked in the room?
Okay, I'll ask her. Would you recognize Bublé? I'll send her a text. I don't have my phone on me. All right. So, M&S. Shall we finish off? Coming up to 3 hours.
Go on.
Let's do the M&S.
Oh, I would do anything for love. Oh, I would do
but I won't do that. I would do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming of. Anything for love, but I just won't do that. I would do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that.
This Christmas, do only what you love.
I don't understand it, Pharaoh. I don't understand any part of this advert.
Right, okay. I'll explain it. And I got to say, this is the edited version because they they took down the original. So, what's the tagline? Can you skip to the tagline again? So we've got that in our heads as we go through this.
Do what you love this Christmas.
Oh yeah, do what you love this Christmas. But the whole premise behind this is abandoning all the things you hate about Christmas, all those traditions that are meaningless. You know, like, why do we do these crazy traditions anyway? You should just do what you love. You know, it's a form of this is like hedonism in an advert.
It's boomer truth. You only do the things you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're greeted with is a series of women and families in different situations. So this is she's sort of like quite flavor of the month, as it were. I can't remember what her name is. She's very tall and Amazonian, this woman. She presented Eurovision this year, but she comes back home and then she realizes, oh, I haven't finished off the project, you know, my kids' project. So again, you're already getting kind of either wine aunt or like single mum vibes. She literally drinks from a gigantic wine glass as she's doing
this is the most wine mum moment, wine aunt moment in any of these things. There, she's literally drinking wine. There we go.
Exactly.
So we've got the I mean, she's much older than late 30s, but she's a wine aunt without doubt. So let's carry on. Yeah.
So she just doesn't want to do that. So that's the first kind of like the tradition of like helping your children at Christmas. Actually, it's crap, and you shouldn't bother doing that. Then we see the homosexual Asian chap.
Is he famous? This guy?
Yes, he's from the fashion show.
Right.
And he's got a choice of, on top of his tree, is he going to place his whatever Swarovski crystal star or some kind of homemade thing that someone else has made, and he feels obliged to do it, even though he knows that doesn't look as good.
Okay.
And then we see another scene, which is this is again like this.
There we go. We're really.
I mean, this is
incongruously improbable family / Christmas dinner. Yeah.
I think so. That's Zawe Ashton, who was like in a few things. I think she dates like Tom Hiddleston, who's Loki in the Avengers, I think.
Right.
But she's doing some kind of charades in a terrible dress. This is not that offensive. So
do you know I reached the stage of life, Pharaoh, where I can no longer distinguish between random actors in adverts and famous people. I would never have known that this woman is famous.
No, she's not. It's the person doing the charades. Go on a bit further.
Oh, who is famous? Okay,
it's the black woman. Hold on a second. Her.
She's famous.
She's the famous one. Yeah,
she's the famous one.
Yeah. This is also like the worst dress ever. Again, this is awful. Like this is also for the M&S clothing advert as well. So you got to understand their audience is 30+ women who are probably like they probably are wine aunts. This is like the wine aunt is the demographic. So
is he famous?
No,
he's just a bloke.
These are all extras, and
they're just normal people or normal commercial actors. But the woman doing the charades is famous.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
and he's famous.
He's famous as well.
And so the wine aunt at the start was famous.
Yeah. Now I love this. This is my favorite. Was one of my favorite scenes. So there's this perfectly normal guy. I mean, what's weird is he's obviously playing the board game by himself. You know, no one else is sitting down at the table with him. some kind of woman is observing, and he's turned up. The Asian guy's turned up, and he's like, "What are you doing at my party? Why are you playing a board game?" And what does he do? Let's click on. Let's just. No. Just imagine. Just pause for a second. Just imagine you're bored at a party, and the host comes up to your board game that you're playing, and then just throws it into a fish thing. It's incredibly rude, and he just loves every second.
She can't believe it. She's like, "Oh, I'm glad because I think that was Trivial Pursuit. She would never win Trivial Pursuit, obviously. He probably fancied himself, but it's just been thrown into the fish tank by Gay Rishi. So,
but again, it's like let's go back to the messaging a second. This is do the things you love, and it's kind of like, I don't know. Trivial Pursuit is I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it. Like, just then don't play it if you don't like it. Do you know what I'm saying?
What if this guy liked playing Trivial Pursuit?
Exactly. He's literally ruined someone else's fun. It's like, okay.
Also, Trivial Pursuit costs like 50 quid, so that's a lot of money.
This is the most narcissistic thing you could ever do, I think, just to ruin someone else's game.
Oh, well, it wasn't even Trivial Pursuit; it was Ludo.
There we go. It's just a horrible
thing. Playing Ludo in a part. I mean,
yeah.
Right. She's famous.
Yes. Yeah.
What's she famous for?
Like she was in Fresh Meat and a few other things, I think.
I watched Fresh Meat. I don't remember her. She must have been a lot younger back then.
She's VOD, yeah, I think so. Yeah. She's had a child. She's had a child, to be fair. It's tough. Anyway.
Oh, I remember her now. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
She was actually fit back in Fresh Meat days. Not anymore.
Sad. She had a child. She's had a child. I feel there's an allowance, I think.
I see.
Anyway. Okay, this is okay, stop. Go back to that scene a second, because this is one of the things that got cut. If you just go back a second, in the original, that's Sophie Ellis-Bextor, and she's setting fire to a gingerbread house. But then she goes on to burn a whole load of Christmas cards in the original, and it's kind of like, why would you do that? Why would you, like? She's obviously put a whole lot of effort into the house, and then she sets fire to it because she doesn't like it, and then sets fire to Christmas cards. Like, who doesn't like Christmas cards? It's just such like a miserable. I mean, you've got to be an absolute Christmas hater to have come up with this.
So this is Murder on the Dance Floor, Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
Yeah, the absolute one-hit wonder woman, basically.
Looks like one of her friends now. I actually thought she was dead. I thought she died. No, seriously, I thought I read somewhere that she died. No?
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. I don't know, but I couldn't believe they were burning. Like, again, with the Christmas cards, it's like, if you don't like it, then just don't do it. But why are you literally ruining everyone else's fun? This is where I think that this crosses the line, because it goes from saying you don't like something to actively destroying the fun for everyone else. This is what I'm saying. This is a very hateful. It's a very hateful advert. I should literally call up the police on this. This advert is a hate crime against people that enjoy Christmas and people who have fun.
So they re-edited it to make it look like she's working on it rather than trying to burn it down. No?
Yeah, I'll see if I can. They've taken down the original, and I've downloaded the original file. But
was it that hated by people?
It caused a big stir at the time, basically. For this, and also they did I don't know if you heard about it. They did an Instagram image of Christmas hats in the fireplace. Someone setting fire to them. So again, another ridiculous thing. But the Christmas hats colours were in the colour of the Palestinian flag, and so there was. Now, if you've ever done an early life check on the M&S, and then it may raise an eyebrow, and then also the creative involved was also of a similar persuasion. So there were questions asked about whether what was the reason behind it. A lot of people saying it was just innocent colours, but I don't know. It's an interesting question. That who can tell? But yeah, they had a lot of backlash to this advert and the Instagram one as well. So anyway, let's go to the last couple of scenes. So this is the like this is
Yeah.
the elf on the shelf thing. I don't know. It's a very American thing. I've never really understood it.
What's
and,
the elf thing?
Well, the Americans acquire small toy elves and then they place them upon their shelves at Christmas time.
But Fresh Meat didn't like it, so she baseball bats it away, but it lands in the garden of Wynant,
Yeah, who happens to have a Christmas chipper.
who then puts it in the chipper.
Well, with again more Christmas hats. Also, can I say that's not how a chipper works. That's not how a chipper works.
But
they're also really loud. They're obnoxiously loud as well.
But she keeps it.
She does. Well, she's like, should I put it in the chipper?
She likes it though. Unlike Fresh Meat, she likes it.
Unlike men, she likes it.
Okay. Terrible. Yeah, I've never done elf on a shelf. I never heard of that. All right. Well, yeah, another depressing year, Farah.
Well, it's interesting because I felt like think back to last year. You had the Lay's, you had the Walker's mental health Christmas advert. Do you remember that? There was some peak woke ad was definitely last year, and we've seen a massive, again, just from a narrative structure at the very least, a massive pulling back on that. And I think the new normal is going to be this kind of like diverse contexts, normal narratives, basically.
So that's I mean, I do think that the overall trend is towards less wokeness. There was nothing like egregiously offensively woke.
Yeah, I think they weren't trying to like rub your face in it.
In the messaging.
Yeah.
Although there was more kind of insidious subversion, Pharaoh. The Marks advert and the John Lewis one were
Marks
more
was definitely
insidious.
Yeah, I think so. The story of the Marks one was like screw tradition and actively hate it and hunt it down for other people, and the John Lewis one was accommodate the alien into your traditions. I genuinely think that narrative is the most pernicious and the most subversive.
There was a through line in all the adverts of like invent your own traditions.
But I think it's more about you need to accommodate these people. That's what they're effectively saying. It's like you need to accommodate everyone else, and traditions need to bend to them rather than them bending to your traditions. So,
I see. So I thought Christianity already had a version of that. It was just Protestantism, but that's a story for another stream.
Wind that in. Wind your neck in, AA.
Pick and mix, pick and mix religion.
Oh.
It's already there.
Go back to Brahman. You can start worshipping the sun with him. Yeah.
Brulham says, "Well, I went to a Catholic school, so if I ever
don't try.
Yeah, I've anyway." Brulham says, "I did on that subject. I had a look the other day at if only Anglicans voted Pharaoh, the Conservatives would never lose an election.
It's true.
If the country was 100% Anglican, the Conservatives would have won every election since 1951.
I mean, I would say that the average Anglican is like the centre-right Tory boy, basically. But there is a substantial proportion of them. It's a complicated thing. It's Anglicanism is a very broad church. It is the original broad church, I would say, and there's large factions. And I would say that actually it has some of the most radical Christians, basically in the UK, are
Anglicans.
Or they're part of the Anglican factions, I would say.
But of course, the most conservative, the most radical party in the UK are the Conservatives.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
The radical left Conservative Party. Brulham says, "I need your take on the Prince Philip movement, which quote converted the Pacific Islanders. Excited for the Vax Glide unboxing. Merry Christmas, mates." This is the story that there's a cult that has emerged around Prince Philip, where Prince Philip is being kind of like worshipped like a god. Were you aware of this?
Yeah, I had heard about it, but I didn't know what the quote was.
Well, we don't. I mean, there's a. In fact, I was sent them earlier on by this chap. The Yohananan people in 2012 showing pictures of a 2007 visit by Prince Philip. The Prince Philip movement is a religious sect followed by the Kaston people around the villages of Yakul and Yahonanan on the southern island of Tanna in Vanuatu. It is a cargo cult of the Yohanan tribe who believe in the divinity of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. So I wonder what it was that he said. If it has 4 legs and it is not a chair, if it has 2 wings and flies but is not an aeroplane, if it swims and it is not a submarine, the Cantonese will eat it, said Prince Philip. It looks like the kind of thing my daughter would bring back from her school art lessons, he muttered while being shown Ethiopian art in 1965. You will look like you're ready for bed. You look like you're ready for bed, he told the president of Nigeria in 2003, who was dressed in his traditional robes.
Brilliant.
Do you still throw spears at each other? He said in Australia, talking to a successful Aborigine entrepreneur. So, base Prince Philip.
That's wrong.
The Mad Mercenary says, add the square modern song Christmasized. We had plenty of that. Pretty much every single one has that. User Earn just says Merry Christmas. Brudam says Sunak coded means an F, A, you fill in the blanks. He also says Cigar Rumble is an absolute booking for AA. Got us hung in a feud between Aaron's early domination and gave us a chance for AA selling it, but it's now looking to be a smackdown. Are we being set up for a screw job? Exhilarating. Well, yeah, you know, the structure of a typical wrestling match is that the baby face gets beaten down and then makes a big comeback. And I'm suggesting that Aaron is getting all his offense in early, but as we get closer to May 2025, it'll be all AA all the time. That directionally, Aaron is feeding on the drips and the last gasps of the death throes of woke is what he's feeding on. Brulam says his entire family died last year. His first Christmas alone. Wants to be unbothered and reminiscing. Woke woman will save him from his thoughts.
That's the Apple guy.
Yeah, but I still think the Apple advert was the best ad of the year, by the way. Easily.
Yeah, I think that's about right, yeah.
Followed by JD Sports Ashes of Civilization ad. Brulam says, didn't the woman in the Dior advert find the beast in the maze, the literal Minotaur? I mean, she found the black fellow in the carousel in the middle of the maze.
She was also riding the carousel as well. That's the dark, yeah.
And then finally, Proper Horror Show says, first class Ashes. I always look forward to this festive look into the rotten Lizzo-fied abyss. No Lizzos this year, Pharaoh. No Lizzos. Not a single Lizzo. By which I mean a large, fat black woman.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, I think they know it rubs.
Academic agent at Pharaoh single-handedly steering the advertising industry every year.
Well, in some ways, I genuinely think that it must be having some kind of effect, and it's probably not good overall. You want it as woke as possible, really. Do you know what I'm saying? We're helping. Tony probably watches it. Someone from the TBI watches it and then does like a little dossier report and then passes it back to his friends. They probably have a little backroom session talking through, Christmas ad stream feedback this year is this.
Yeah, notes from an academic agent at Pharaoh this year. Your analysis of Kill List was very decent too. Merry Christmas, AA and Pharaoh, and take half of this for the Marvel stream. That is the Andrew Marvell stream, not the Marvel movie stream. Well, thank you very much, Proper Horror Show. It means so much. And I mean, to give you an idea of how far things have shifted, this was last year, wasn't it, Pharaoh? This was last year.
In a far, far away land, a feast was being planned.
Frap Thermidor crumpets. Delicious.
Cider glazed gammon.
Ooh.
For dessert, I've never really liked Christmas pudding.
That has been put away, hasn't it?
Yeah,
There is
100%.
nothing of that magnitude was seen this year. So I would reckon that we're well past the peak of woke now. And if I was to forecast by this time next year, Pharaoh, I mean, pretty much every single advert could have been directed by, Lenny Riefenstahl or something. Be like Triumph of the Will, every single advert.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. Look at people coping. The month is still young. All the adverts are made 3 months
No,
ago.
this is it. This is the cream of
is
the crop. I would
is
say
it.
that there's about maybe another 15 more that we didn't watch, and they're all like this. Everything it's over. Work is over.
We never got to see the front cover image, Pharaoh. We never got to that one.
Yeah, I can't remember which one that was from. Even that was the Bailey's advert, I think. Anyway, maybe I'll post it up later.
Maybe we should have the lonely, the moment from the. What should be the front cover image? I quite like the zoomer emoji of the KFC.
Yeah, that was quite good. That was good. Yeah.
Maybe I'll put that up there. All right. Well, thank you very much. I'll just remind people 25% off all courses. That's Glide 2. Get your Trivium and other courses now. Pharaoh, anything you'd like to plug before we get out of here?
No, just the stuff I said at the beginning. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in as ever. And catch you later.
Oh, Brewland with the last minute super chat says the beast went from that horrific throne scene to a gimp in a maze on a carousel. I may be back later it was usually Cigar Stream on Monday nights, but I may just continue on with my correction of the Time Person of the Year. I think I need to do the 1980s. I've painstakingly, Pharaoh, been going through Time Person of the Year every single year from.
And I've been listening. It's been pretty entertaining. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Once I get my, and I have to get back to that. And if I don't get back to it today, it will never happen, and we'll be stuck forever in 1979. So I may finish the 80s tonight. All right, so I may be back later on, but for now, get out, everybody. Get out.
What goes on in this town is none of your business.
As long as I'm living here, it is.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!